Located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Would your bracket be better than Matt Jones, Derek Ruskin, and the rest of the ESPN Arkansas team? Sign up for the HitThatLine.com Bracket Challenge presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, A10 Billiards and Bowling in Fort Smith, Wheels RV in Springdale, and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley. Just find the contest on HitThatLine.com. The HitThatLine.com Bracket Challenge is brought to you in part by Broadway Motorsports in Van Buren, Swift's Jewelry in Fayetteville, Foghorns in Northwest Arkansas, and River Valley Truck Outfitters in Fort Smith. Sign up today at HitThatLine.com. ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny, a cooler day, our high upper 40s to lower 50s with a brisk northwesterly wind, 20 up to 30 miles per hour at times. Mainly clear, a cold one tonight, upper 20s to low 30s. And then sunny skies on Saturday. Our high will be in the low 40s north, low 50s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your outside fun this year. Call Mosquito Joe to keep your yard mosquito-free. Call 479-202-9960 or visit ArkansasMosquitoJoe.com.
Learn more.
Here we go. From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
For this town is a pigskin paradise.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
There's only 32 of us left. Let's go. There's only 32 of us left right now. All right, hey, right now preparation starts for Kansas. Yep. Not tonight, not right now. Put your depth chart up. We got you.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Basketball team advancing to the round of 32 here in Des Moines, Iowa. Get a chance at the Kansas Jayhawks, the number one seed, and a team that is only favored by 4.5 heading into this game Saturday night. Plenty to discuss. It is a Fast Break Friday, and Tommy, it's a good one, brought to you by QC Kinetics.
Yeah, you know, the wintertime blues are almost over. I know we got a little snap of some more than mild weather right now, but hey, don't let that ruin your outdoor activities this spring and summer with joint pain that continues to nag and bother you. Our friends at QC Kinetics can get you through the joint pain with no steroids, no surgery, and no downtime. It's regenerative medicine. It's the cutting-edge stuff. It's the way professional athletes treat their joint pain, and you can use it too. It's right here in Northwest Arkansas. The old ways are no longer the only ways to deal with joint pain. Call my friends at QC Kinetics. They have appointments available for next week for a consultation to find out how you can rid yourself of knee, back, shoulder, hip, wherever it's bothering you in the joints, they can fix it for you. 479-999-1234. 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
We'll hear from Eric Musselman coming up. There was plenty of highlights to get into, not just from the Arkansas game, but games all over the weekend and leading up to this upcoming Saturday and Sunday. Princeton gets it done. Furman gets it done. Some great radio calls that we'll introduce coming up. But, Tommy, we got to start with this basketball team, which had two big runs, one in the first half, one in the second half, and fended off the Illini when they started to make theirs late in the second half.
Yeah, these two teams played to even in the second half, and second chance points weren't a big deal both ways, but the way Arkansas kept Illinois off the offensive glass, I thought was the difference in the ball game. They spread around the defensive rebounding to a great degree. I mean, we just look at the stats and the fact that really Illinois, not a great shooting team, particularly in the first half, dug themselves that hole. Arkansas didn't flinch in the second half. They had a couple of scoreless minutes, and they had a couple of spurts with some turnovers, but they had done enough to build that lead. And I thought the lack of offensive rebounding they provided for Illinois with just a good performance on the glass, even though the numbers are about even, I thought was the difference in the ball game.
Yeah, and for Kamani Johnson, Tommy, to have 4 offensive rebounds in the game last night, 12 minutes of play, and the entire Fighting Illini had 3.
Yep.
That just speaks to what Arkansas did on the glass last night. Kamani came in from the jump, had an assist, had a block shot, had an offensive rebound, and I think he had 2 defensive rebounds, and just really kind of solidifying to the rest of the team outside of Devo, guys, we can do this, and they needed that leadership last night.
Yeah, and Arkansas, had a few spurts in the second half. They turned the ball over before the game, 11 turnovers. That puts you in a pretty good spot, and only 4 of those in the second half. They seem to come in bunches sometimes for this team, but I thought all in all they took care of the ball. One of the kind of the weird things that sticks out is only 4 assists. Clay had texted me after the game last night. He goes, I bet there's not an NCAA tournament win in the history of the program with 4 assists. I mean, that is probably a unique number to have a win in the NCAA tournament.
I was sitting next to a bunch of Arkansas media members last night. We all asked each other the same question. Is that stat right? And I think it is.
Yeah.
And kind of like you're saying with Clay, your conversations with Clay last night, we were pretty flabbergasted, to be quite honest, that it was that different, that odd of a stat to see them. Again, they shot the ball pretty well, and they had that lull in the second half as they done, but defensively they were able to keep it going. They just had uncharacteristic, very characteristic turnovers that you hope they don't have against the Jayhawks.
Yeah, so, it's going to be a big game. Saturday's game time. For those, we already got a few people asking. It's 4:15 on Saturday, so we'll have that for you. There's been some changes with the schedule for the weekend already with baseball today. We'll get into all that, but for those that are wondering, when are we going to play Kansas? Saturday afternoon, 4:15, so you can make your plans.
Yeah, that kind of gives you a nice little it's not too late. It's not too early. It gives you a setup. It's not like many of you are going to do anything productive today or tomorrow or Sunday anyway, but it gives you at least some time to get ready for that basketball game. And Kansas, again, the storyline here in Des Moines is Bill Self, not on the sidelines yesterday. He's here, and I know they put out some social media. Tommy, I told you and Chuck this week, when they put out that PR statement, I didn't believe it at all. Like that, all that is just a organization trying to feed their fans as much positive energy as possible. And you could say, well, they didn't need Coach Self for Howard. I'm not so sure he's going to coach tomorrow night. They can say whatever they want, but I'm not sure he's coaching tomorrow night.
You may be right. They hadn't lost without him, but, and I know some of this was discussed on the TV broadcast, and I don't want to get into what's going on with his health. We kind of have a work connection that's given us some insight into the situation, and I don't want to start speaking on stuff that's none of our business, and that's what's going on with him medically. But these are things that people routinely return to work from in days, not weeks, and I really was surprised he didn't coach. But I also understand that when you're in a university setting and every precaution is usually taken when you're talking about it, school administration, and you get doctors and a lot of people involved in these kind of decisions. The last thing you want is for something to go wrong during the game with Coach Self, and that to be seen by the whole world.
Our number is 877-377-6963 if you want to jump in with Tommy, Christian, and myself this morning. Chuck's going to join us momentarily in about 20 minutes or so. He's going to walk over from his hotel and enjoy some of this breakfast club. 3 straight days of good food. I know that Arkansas fans are going to make their way up here starting today, probably and tomorrow, in the fact that the Razorbacks won. I got several texts last night that after the win that there are fans that were kind of on the fence that are gonna come up now. I think there's a rejuvenated confidence within this fan base that thinks they can win on Saturday at 4:15, Tommy.
I guess you got to pay attention a little bit to the weather. When there's some snow coming your direction up there that come back behind Iowa and moving that direction yesterday, so I don't know how much travel issues will be a part of it. I think a lot of people that want to go will stay in Kansas City and drive up Saturday, during the day, or will make their way there, just depending on what part of the state you live in. I mean, it's an easy day's drive and still get there in plenty of time for a 4 o'clock or so tip.
Yeah, and that's actually exactly what one of my friends is doing. He has relatives in Kansas City. He's going to go up there, stay there, and then drive back later on Saturday. It is going to be cold today. It's a high of 34. Saturday's game, it's even colder, a high of 28. We, of course, know the game's indoors, but you mentioned the snow. It was kind of snowing and sleeting a little bit on us as we were leaving last night, but I didn't even feel it. I was on cloud nine. It was great. And now it's just a matter of if you can compete and bring that same defensive intensity against a much more potent Jayhawks team on Saturday.
All right, we got plenty to get to live in Des Moines. We're at the Breakfast Club, so come by. You can have breakfast with Ty and Chuck this morning if you're listening online from Des Moines. All of our coverage in Des Moines is brought to you by Mossback Fish Habitat, made in Arkansas, the leading manufacturer of artificial fish habitat designed to enhance your fishery and increase your fishing success. Get your fish habitat products right now at mossbackfishhabitat.com. And by Big Creek Trading Company, everything you need for a trip to the water or to the woods is at Big Creek Trading Company at the junction of Highways 6265 and 412 just south of Harrison. And by our friends at Jersey Mike's, now serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Be a sub above with Jersey Mike's. Later on in the hour, Scott Tabor going to stop by for a few minutes as we get ready for baseball later on this afternoon. Game time's been moved to 4 o'clock. We'll go over all the details on that coming up as well. Hey, if you need to make a switch with your TV service here at March Madness, World of Wireless is there for you. Get signed up for Dish. Be installed before this weekend is up with a call to WOW now. 877-305-DISH is their number. Plans start at $79.99 when you call World of Wireless. Voice-activated remotes, free movie channels, and more this weekend. 877-305-DISH for World of Wireless.
More of the Morning Rush coming up on a Fast Break Friday.
You're in the middle of Fast Break Friday on the Morning Rush presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I appreciate it, Ty, you and Tommy having me on this morning. It's always great to join the Morning Rush.
Smith lobs to Council. Wow, what a play. Council with a throwdown off the lob from Nick.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Obviously, 22 for 29 from the foul line. Shooting 76% in a big game, a winner or go home game. John Daly will be happy. He gives me texts after every game about our free throw shooting. So I'm sure John will give me a positive text tonight on our foul shooting.
I got a chuckle from everyone in the press conference listening to Must talk about his friend John Daly yesterday, which Arkansas Tommy, it's funny how wins correlate when they shoot well from the line, especially in the second half. That's another part of this. You always point to it's not necessarily how you like in its entirety game, but Tom, when they go 15 of 17 in the second half, Ricky Council goes 6 for 6. That's helped spells a win, and it did last night.
Now, when you shoot 75+%, you only turn the ball over 11 times. I mean, numbers can lie to you, but those are two good leading stats to lead you to victory. Coach should text him after he misses a 6-foot putt. That's what.
Nice.
And in 6-foot putts and free throws, about the same thing. As far as correlating the game. So maybe Muss ought to fire up some text after John misses a putt here and there. Hey, we're brought to you by our friends at Matchstick Studios and Modular Orange. This is a time of the year where a lot of people are on their phones, tablets, computers, looking on the internet, checking their brackets, looking at scores, but also Googling and trying to find a particular product, business, or service. If someone searches for your name and finds your website or searches for your product or service online and finds your website, are they going to transact business with you? Does your business website leave that kind of impression? If you need help in that area, our friends at Modular Orange can design, write, host, secure. Take care of everything in regards to your website for $95 a month. There's no hidden fees, no upfront cost, no extras when you need their website services. Call our friend Jordan, 479-755-3043, and start the conversation. You can see examples of their work and exactly what I'm talking about. And we've had, dozens of businesses. I don't know if it's hundreds yet, but dozens of our friends that listen to the Morning Rush that have businesses that have used them, and they're all extremely happy, and they love the cost at $95 a month. Go to modularorange.com or again, 755-3043.
If you want to jump in here this morning, like several of our texters have already, feel free to do that. I know that we've got a lot of takeaways. Nate has a takeaway that Smith and Council really need to show up against Kansas. Ricky had his first double-double of the season, 18 and 10, following 2 of his worst games as an Arkansas Razorback. That was big what they did. He also says that even if this team falls to the Jayhawks, that he feels like making the round of 32 is a success based on how this season's played out.
Well, I think getting a tournament win in 3 consecutive seasons is something that once again shows you're on the right footing. you'd like to have played your way, and this is why the regular season matters so much. You'd like to have played better all season long in the games leading up, so you're not an 8 seed now facing a 1 seed. But it's a great opportunity to switch seeds. You can become the 1 seed with a win on Saturday. Now, a lot has to happen, but that's essentially what happens, Ty, is you become the 1 seed. You take Kansas' spot with a win. Now, that's a huge mountain to climb.
I never thought about it like that, but that makes sense. And for the Jayhawks, again, you look at the other 1 seeds, and I know we still have 2 that have to play today. Houston's favored by 5.5 against Auburn and Birmingham. They got an unlucky draw there. And then Alabama is a 8.5-point favorite. And one of the things you need to keep an eye on is Brandon Miller has had a groin injury. Had it on Sunday. Nate Oates talked about that after the game. Alabama almost looked invincible heading into the tournament. Their best player with that injury, that is something to monitor and keep an eye on. So
he didn't score. He didn't even score in the game yesterday, which is unusual. Played 19 minutes, 2 injuries, both the same kind, groin injuries. Sasser for Houston and Brandon Miller may prove to be large in who advances to next weekend.
Yeah, so that is something that I know those coaches and Bruce Pearl, and then I guess it's Kevin Willard for Maryland are going to be looking at and seeing. Again, you never want to root for injuries, but with them occurring, that's something that at least is going to benefit them in that side of things. Dennis in Springdale text in saying it was a great win, even though Nick did not have his best game offensively, which, again, that side of things, he was not good today. But I think he was disappointed with stall ball. And I think a lot of fans felt like they got out of rhythm when they just tried to go until the last 5 seconds or so on the shot clock. And he wishes that they would have put the pedal down a little more, and he hopes they do that against Kansas if they build a lead.
Late, I was watching with some friends, a friend of mine yesterday, and got down to about 3-4 minutes to go, and I'm like, all right, if you can score twice, you win, because I'm just counting possessions at that point. You just do the math on a 30-second shot clock, and you get say 1.25 possessions a minute in each half court. If you're taking care of the clock, maybe 1.5, and you just start counting possessions, and the lead was at about 10, and if you scored time, and Arkansas would make an ill-advised pass or a turnover, and talk about free throws at the right time. Sometimes it's avoiding turnovers at the wrong time, and Arkansas did enough, but I agree with the text that it seemed like Arkansas got out of their flow and out of their rhythm trying to slow it down, and then offensively everything bogged down on them.
Yeah, and it's Illinois with their size and their length was able to, again, force them into some tough shots because they had some open shots early in the shot clock. Devo had he probably had a nice little floater at one point and then also had a three-pointer. He elected to pull it back out at the direction of his head coach, and there was a few other plays. And then Ricky, at one point, it looked like he was going to throw it down, and Duncan ended up doing some weird contorted layup, which got Arkansas out of that drought. But, again, survive in advance. We've talked about this time and time again. I remember at halftime I'm sitting next to Illicit Orange, and I'm like, we've seen this movie before. Hopefully it doesn't end the same way, and it didn't, Tommy.
Yeah, we were kind of sarcastically joking how big a lead is a safe lead, and you just couldn't put a big enough number on it, and that's exactly where Arkansas has been. Was 10-point leads, 12-point leads. It got to 15 early in the second half. Is that safe? Proved to be safe, but it was tested at the end, and that's exactly what Illinois does a lot. Is they erase second half leads. They're a much better shooting team in the second half. They wear their opponent down, and yesterday Arkansas built just a big enough lead they couldn't overcome it.
JT wants to talk about the Kansas game tomorrow. And again, Tommy said in the first segment, we'll continue to address this. 4:15 on CBS, and then the Texas, and not Texas A&M, but Texas and Penn State game will follow you a little later on. He's really pumped. He thinks after last night this team has the confidence and is capable of beating the Jayhawks. And listen, Tommy, I said it earlier this week, I thought they were going to do two things this weekend. They were either going to lose to Illinois or go 2-0. I hope I'm right heading into tomorrow.
Well, it's one time we hope you are right. So, it would be a huge, program. It wouldn't be a program-changing win. I don't think you could say it's anything short of, it would be Muss's signature victory. What right now would be Muss's signature victory? Probably the win over Gonzaga, right? So this would probably...
You put that above that?
I think because it's Kansas. Not that Gonzaga's a bad program, but Kansas is Kansas. So, yeah, I think I would. They're a 1 seed. Not that Gonzaga wasn't, but I think that's exactly what just because it's Kansas and that brand name, I'd have to to elevate that. All right, we'll talk some baseball for a few minutes coming up. Chuck's also going to join us. We'll get Scott Tabor's thoughts on Will McIntyre and a complete game last time out. So we'll talk to Scott about that. He knew a little bit about complete games. That's all coming up. Hey, it's March Madness. It's also Mermaid Madness at Burton Pools and Spas. Stop by the Springdale or Fort Smith store. They've got a hot tub filled with mermaids. You can guess how many are in the hot tub. Closest guess is going to win a new Fantasy Enamor Premier Hot Tub package valued at over $6,000, fully complete with everything you need. Adjustable waterfall, multicolor lights, even an ice bucket to keep drinks cold. So get by Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale, and in Fort Smith. There's also a $500 coupon on the entry form at hitthatline.com when you sign up now. It's all from Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
ESPN Arkansas is on the road with the Hogs in Des Moines, Iowa at the NCAA tournament. Our live coverage is presented by Mossback Fish Habitat, made in Arkansas to enhance your fishing success rate. Get your fish habitat products today at mossbackfishhabitat.com. Big Creek Trading Company, everything you need to get ready for the upcoming turkey season or fishing trip at the corner of Highway 62, 65 and 412 just south of Harrison. And by Jersey Mike's, now serving NWA in the River Valley. Be a sub above.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The horrible internet days in Charleston are now over. Fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect, now available to those in the city limits of Charleston. Get amazing gigabit internet, TV, and phone services from Wave Rural Connect. And don't forget about the new Wave Connect app for the ultimate experience. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call us at 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service is all about God, family, and our country, and they proudly display the red, white, and blue. At High-Tech, they specialize in truck and trailer repair, service, and are certified in refrigeration repair. And every day, give thanks to those who have served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice for folks like you and me. High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service, located in Van Buren at 6410 Alma Highway or at 479-474-2220.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
One of the most common questions we get at Mosquito Joe is how can you possibly get rid of mosquitoes? At Mosquito Joe, it's our mission to keep your yard mosquito-free. It's all we do. With the right products and the right training, you'd be amazed at the difference Mosquito Joe can make. Give us a call and we'd be glad to answer all your questions and tell you more. Get your first service for just $39. Call 479-202-9960. It's 202-9960. Or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these great deals at any of our 4 locations. Ace 40-pound wild bird food or 20-pound black oil sunflower seed, only $20. Assorted flavors of Ace bird suet, only 99 cents. And Ace pleated air filters, buy 3, get 1 free. Find more everyday low prices online at YeagersHardware.com. Yeager's Ace Hardware, offering real service with real savings.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook where you can check out their work.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
There's only 32 of us left. Let's go. There's only 32 of us left right now. All right, hey, right now preparation starts for Kansas. Yep. Not tonight, not right now. Put your depth chart up. We got you.
Scott Tabor knows a little something about locker room celebrations when they went to the College World Series. We're going to talk with him coming up, not just about a little baseball, but get his reaction to that win last night as well.
All right, here we go. All right, got to have Mike on. All right, Fast Break Friday is brought to you by QC Kinetics. And QC Kinetics, if you got hip pain, joint pain, back or shoulder pain, QC Kinetics can get you moving again and enjoy all the fun that you can find across our natural state. A lot of people like to turkey hunt. I know Scott Tabor's a guy that likes some turkey hunting. He can tell you when he had some shoulder pain a while back, that sidelined him from all of his favorite things. Golf, fishing, all of that can be put on the back burner when you just hurt. QC Kinetics has cutting-edge regenerative treatments that can get you moving again without pain, without surgery, without drugs, with no downtime as well. Hey, the old ways are not the only ways of dealing with joint pain now. Our friends at QC Kinetics has a better way. Call them for a free consultation next week, 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
Tapes, how about them Hogs last night? What a win. Kansas on Saturday.
Hey. That's right. I want this fast break Friday to stay fast break for another couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll go to fastball Fridays, but it was fantastic.
Yeah, as much as you were slinging the fastballs back in the day, I tend to agree with you. If they can beat Kansas, keep this fast break Friday going. I think about when you go up against a big dog like they're going up against in a blue blood program, Kansas on Saturday. Scott, you've been in locker rooms before. What is the added edge and intensity within a team when they know they can knock off one of the best programs in the country coming up in the day?
Well, from a fan's point of view and from the typical person out there, you're playing a big name. You're playing Kansas. You're playing a name on the jersey. From a player's point of view, they're playing other players. The name on our jersey is pretty darn hard to look at for some other guys. And so it's a perception thing. And I think our guys played with a lot of confidence last night. I think they saw that they could still win a game without Nick Smith going off for 25 or 30 points. I don't think Nick had his greatest game, but everybody else stepped up. And the big key to me was watching them make free throws down the stretch. That was fantastic for a change. So that's how they can keep that lead.
Yeah. Scott, I want to go back last week and talk about Will McIntyre. You're the perfect guy to talk to about complete games. If you look in the history books of Razorback baseball, you're, I believe, still the guy that holds the most complete games in program history. Talk about Will's performance last week. It's rare that you see it. What goes into a performance like Will's to have a complete game? You're the perfect guy to ask.
Well, we got to see a unicorn. I mean, we haven't seen one, I think somebody said, since 2017. Goodness, that's a long time. Things have changed. It's not the player's fault. It's not the pitcher's fault. Things have changed the way pitching staffs are used. But McIntyre went out and did exactly what you have to do as a starter to stay on the mound. used to. You want to get the ball at the beginning of the game. You don't want to give it up until after the game is over. And so he kept his pitch count low, and by doing that, you have to get after hitters quick. You stay on top of them. You're throwing strikes your first pitch. You're getting ahead in the order, and you're making them hit your pitch. You can see a lot of guys, when they're facing a pitcher that's known to stay out there and throw a lot of pitches, they want to jump on the count early. They want to get on the pitcher in their first one or two pitches, because if they get deep in the count, then the pitcher's, if he's got all of his pitch work and all of his control, and he's hitting the corners and he's throwing a breaking ball and he's changing speeds, it's tough. Hitters will tell you, a guy throwing 95 that all he's really got is his fastball. He's not changing speeds. They can pick up speed pretty quick. Changing speeds is what really confuses guys. It slows the bat down. It changes their eye level. And so he did that, and he had it going that day. And once you have it going, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah. What was it? 21? 20, how many complete games you have? I know it's still the record for the program.
I had 28.
28.
He's on the way.
You shorted him, Tommy.
He's just 27. He's just 27 away.
That's a record. I mean, the phrase "that record will never be broken" is overused in sports, but Tabes, you may have a record that's never going to be broken.
Well, you hear also the phrase, records are made to be broken, but that's just because of the way the game is morphed. They take better care of pitchers' arms. They're deeper staffs. You don't have to have a guy go out and get you a complete game, get 2 complete games a weekend, or else you don't have a chance. And that's kind of the way our staffs were earlier. We had depth was a problem, but they're deep, and I think that's really, really showing up. You're going McIntyre now. He's going to want to go out every game and throw a complete game. So I guarantee you, his mindset has gone from I want to go out and I want to do pretty well today. It's gone to I want to go out and I want to hand the ball to the coach at the end of the game. I want everybody to slap me on the back as we walk out after the game. Not because I come out in the 5th inning. And so your perception changes, and it's a great thing to see. Hopefully that'll bleed down to everybody. And all the other pitchers go, you know what, I just need to attack the strike zone a little bit more. Let them hit it, but just don't let them hit it hard. Don't let them barrel it up. And so it sharpens your mental toughness.
We're talking with former College World Series pitcher Scott Tabor here on the Morning Rush. Scott, I know you didn't compete in the SEC, but they are transitioning to conference play. What do you remember about playing non-conference teams and then just kind of the intensity level rising when you started playing your conference foes?
Things get ramped up when you get to conference. I used to hear them say all the time, we just want to, we want to go in and we want to take 2 out of 3. And I never understood that. I wanted to take 3 out of 3. And as a player, you want to win every game. The reality is, if you win 2 out of 3 of every series, you're probably going to win the conference. Because especially this conference is deep as it is, up and down the lineup. Back in the Southwest Conference, probably had 4 or 5 teams that were really, really good every single year. So they're going to attack it, and I think they're showing that by what they're doing with Hagen Smith. They're going to attack it as the first 2 games, especially. They want to go out and they want to do everything they can to win. They're almost treating it like the World Series in the season. It's win 2 and go home. You have the national championship, and so I think the fact that they're pulling Hagen Smith, they've moved him back to the Sunday starter. But they're going to bring him out of the pen if they need to in the first game. Bring him out of the pen if they have to in the second game, either as I don't know if they're going to bring him as a long reliever. I think the emergence of Bybee, the outing that he had the other day, they knew he had the talent. He just hadn't quite put it together yet. I think that's allowing them to do that because they lost Tiger. So we'd always talk about it. It's like watching Musk try to figure out his line. Baseball and pitching staffs are ever-evolving deal, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see that they're looking at it and not going, okay, here's our first, second, or third guy, and then we'll just see what happens. They're really having to put some thought into it with the loss with the injuries that they've had and all the things that have gone on. And you have the dynamic of the hitters we have a good hitting team. We have some guys with some power. You don't see them panic if they go into the 5th or 6th inning down a couple of 2 or 3 runs because that can change on a dime. Kendall Diggs can go deep every time he gets up there. Borfrin and just Werner, or I'm sorry,
Wagner.
Yes, thank you. Those guys can go deep every time. there's a chance that they can hit the ball out of the park and any kind of win. So it just changes your thought process as a coach, of what you can do and what you should do. And I think they're going to go all in on the first two games, knowing that they could out-hit the team on that third game. And it's a great thing to have.
All right. Tape, should be a fun weekend. Auburn, now game time for today's game has been moved up to 4 to avoid the colder weather later in the evening. Still scheduled for 2 o'clock on Saturday, an early afternoon start on Sunday as well. So I know this is not the way anyone wanted to open conference play, was having to move game times because of the cold conditions.
Right. Well, as a player, they've been playing all spring, and that's something that you get used to. You don't always love it, but that's something you get used to. And once you get on the field, things warm up pretty quick. As a pitcher, throwing in colder, cooler weather is really not a bad thing. You can seem like you can stay out a little bit longer. You don't sweat as much. You don't exhaust yourself as much, so you can get out and get after it. Yeah. Hopefully they'll stay out. I'd love to see Holland get into the 7th, 8th, 9th inning. Make him pitch well enough to make the coaches have to make a decision late in the game. So it'll be a big one today.
So is your bracket in the trash can? Is it on fire, or is yours like the rest of ours, where yesterday just obliterated your predictions?
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about the March Madness. What makes it so attractive to everybody is, the chances of winning it, we're getting everything right, because you just try to go, okay, surely Virginia will get beat. You just don't. I mean, Princeton popping up and doing what they do, and now Missouri, instead of playing Virginia, they're playing Princeton.
Yeah,
Missouri, I thought did very, very well yesterday. And Arkansas, I just think we're hitting another level.
We've all got to deal with that one guy in the office today with a condescending tone. Oh, you didn't have Furman over Virginia? I mean, you didn't have that on your bracket? I did. I mean,
I got it.
Well, how did you not?
How did you get it? Well, my wife picked it. She went, I like the color of their jersey. I like that one, and I like that one. Yeah, he filled that's your bracket. And Neil Powell was doing on that paper. So, yeah, it's a crapshoot.
Yep. Well, enjoy all of the games this weekend, Tabes, and we'll catch up with you next Friday.
I'll do it. All right, go Hogs.
All right, Scott Tabor with us here in the morning. Right, we're all going to know that guy today that picked Furman to win or picked Princeton just by dumb luck, Ty, and he's going to have that extremely condescending tone in his voice as he quietly brags about having that prediction right.
It's annoying, but it's part of it. It's part of it, Tommy. Well, Chuck just got here. You want to talk with him about last night?
Absolutely. That had to be a lot of fun, Chuck, to get through that game. A little bit unnerving there at the end, but the Razorbacks found a way to get through it.
Yeah, when it was 51-46, I'll admit, I kind of wondered, is this going to happen again? But they went on a 10-0 run, and that's what put the game away. I mean, Illinois, they weren't finished at that point. They still made another run. They finished with about 4 or 5 minutes. They were done after that. But, I just thought Arkansas last night showed toughness. I mean, we were going through some of the numbers on the postgame with Gus Arginal, and you talk about forcing 17 turnovers and out-rebounding them by 9 and limiting them to 3 offensive rebounds and getting 11 yourself, 32 in the paint. Those are toughness points. It was not a pretty game. I mean, Arkansas shot 33% in the second half. Illinois shot a whole lot better in the second half than they did in the first. But it was not a great offensive game. It was not one of those games with a great flow to it. But they found a way to win. And there were a lot of games yesterday that were played that didn't have a great flow to them. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it works in the NCAA tournament. So, hey, you win, you play again, and it was a good day.
And they mentioned survive in advance. I think that's exactly what they say. So.
Well, right. I mean, that's just it. You live to play another day, and now you get Kansas, and Kansas is just like everybody else. I mean, they put their shorts on just like everybody else does. And I watched them yesterday. They're really good. They're really good. But like everybody else in the tournament, they have a bad day, and season's over.
Tomorrow at 4:15 on CBS and right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Chuck, how about the fact that Jordan Walsh was plus 22? Eric Musselman couldn't say enough about him in the presser last night.
I thought defensively, Walsh was outstanding. I mean, he frustrated those guys. There were points, I think it was Meyer, that, I mean, he was just ready to quit. And the first thing they did at the next stoppage was get him off the floor.
Yep.
And, he just played, I thought, a terrific basketball game. just an all-around basketball game. He scored 6 points. He had 4 rebounds. I got no problem with wasting 4 fouls. I got no problem with that. I mean, he was physical all night, and he was one of the differences in the game.
You mentioned the joy after the win over Auburn. I have a good vantage point on the court like you, and I zoom in on the particular freshman, and Jordan, like the Auburn win, is jumping up and down, celebrating with Anthony, celebrating for Nick. And it's not like the SEC tournament is a big deal for freshmen, but to see their faces after winning that first game last night was pretty cool.
Well, I think these are guys that love to play ball. They like each other, and they don't want the season to end yet. It's just as simple as that. I think that, they all know what's coming. We all know what's coming. Most of them are going to go. And as is the case, it seems like every year in college basketball, team's going to look a whole lot different this year. So, let's enjoy it, whether you're a player, whether you're a fan, regardless of what your position is. I mean, this is, it was a great day. They won an NCAA tournament game. They talked about him from coast to coast. I mean, what's not to love for an 18 or a 19-year-old?
Yeah. We talked yesterday morning about points in the paint and stopping rim attacks, and you said, this could come down to that or it could come down to rebounding. I think you were right because in the end I thought the 3 offensive rebounds was all that Illinois was allowed to get was a huge point in this game. Second chance points weren't big for either team, but I thought the way Arkansas cleaned up on the glass was maybe the difference in the ball game.
Arkansas doesn't make their living off second chance points. It's great to get them, but they don't make their living off of them. Teams like Illinois, they got to have offensive rebounds. They got to have putbacks. They're not a good shooting team even from 2. Now, they were in the second half, but that was a percentage that they don't normally shoot, and give them credit for that. But they're not a great shooting team, and so they've got to be able to get the garbage points. Sometimes when you don't shoot well, your best offense is shoot it and go get it. And, they shot it a lot but weren't able to go get it. And, Arkansas put up 11 more shots than what Illinois did in the game last night. And part of that's turnovers. But a lot of it, too, is like the Auburn game at the tournament where we were talking about. I mean, it was one and done. They got one shot. If it didn't go in, if it didn't go in, that was it.
You had Kamani Johnson that had more offensive rebounds than their entire team. I know Muss was talking about him yesterday.
Kamani played 12 minutes and led the game in offensive rebounds. If you could just sum it up, you're talking about a player that played 12 minutes and had 4 offensive rebounds. Illinois had 3 as a team.
He blocked Illinois' first shot and also made some other big plays to start that game out.
You know what the best thing about the NCAA tournament is for media people? The quality of the sound. Did you hear Muss right there? There's not any of this, well, we didn't get the volume set quite right. We'll try to do better next time. You get in a tournament like this, man, those post-game microphones are good. Everything's crisp. And I don't know if that means anything to our listeners, but I know it means something to all 3 of us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now you get Kansas. You get a chance to slay a Goliath. And we were talking about signature wins, and Gonzaga is probably the signature win in the Muss era right now. I think Kansas and this opportunity might supplant that just because, Chuck, it's the brand name of Kansas.
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, when you play Kansas, you're playing the founders of the game. I mean, they're the ones that came up with the concept. So and they follow it, and they'll remind you that they invented the game. Now I'll say this: I was impressed yesterday when Kansas played. I went early and watched the Kansas game, and there was not, there were the only empties that I saw were in the sponsor area. Right there at midcourt down low, where those aren't fans' tickets; those are sponsors' tickets. Mm-hmm. And it was a day game, and I guess people were working. But once you got out of that sponsors area, there wasn't an empty in the building. And, I mean, I looked up in the upper deck. And, sometimes at Bud Walton Arena, well, it's full house. But you look up, and there's some spots up there you can squeeze some people in. You couldn't do that yesterday. I'll tell you, if you're coming up today, and I know a lot of people are, I'd sure go by the bank and get some cash because I think you're going to need it.
There's going to be a lot of Kansas fans. We were talking about the potential matchup of Texas A&M and Texas. It's no longer the case. A&M gets clobbered by Penn State, so it'll be Texas.
Yeah, what a disappointment.
Penn State later on tomorrow after following the Arkansas game. But I talked, and Chuck, you probably had some people text you. I had at least 5 people text me that didn't come to yesterday's game, but they're packing up and going today and tomorrow.
I've already had people ask about tickets. Yeah, so, I mean, it's family. Family. It's always family. But, I think there's going to be a big battle for tickets. I think it'll be a fun day.
Don't call Chuck. He only has about 18 tickets. He just doesn't have that
18.
many. So,
Yeah.
they're in that sponsor area where no one's sitting. So
I got 20 tickets. Only 4 of them are spoken for right now. But, I wish that was true.
Man.
I wish that was true.
But it should be a great time. Now, I don't know about you. I know you didn't do a bracket, Chuck, but, man, you talk about the disappointment at A&M. I think there's a lot of people that just kind of thrown their hands up already. We didn't even reach day 2, and their bracket's already – they're like me. They didn't have Furman. They didn't have Princeton. Their bracket's pretty well toast at this point.
Well, the only people that had Furman are like wives and children. The people that pick the long shot at Oaklawn and have no idea what they're doing. It just comes in.
Yeah.
Those are the people that had Furman yesterday. I'm still puzzled by why A&M was seeded 7th and why Penn State was seeded 10th. Penn State went 3-0 against Illinois this year. I mean, they went 3-0 against them. And that's a good team. And I know they went through some – I guess, and I don't follow them closely, but you look at their games. Evidently, they went through a period there where, man, they were really struggling. They couldn't win, and they had some bad losses. What the committee, what the numbers tell you is a bad loss. And, I guess that's what dropped them down. But, they had a strong finish. I mean, look at their finish in the Big Ten. I mean, there wasn't anybody better.
Made the championship game.
Yeah, and, well, not just in the tournament, but you look at what they did at the end of the regular season. It made what they did in the tournament predictable, frankly. I thought they were better than a 10 seed. They were really good. I don't know what that I forget what that number 22's name is. Buzz Williams talked about him all night, and he knew about him. They just couldn't do much with him.
Yeah. But I would have said A&M's better than a 7 seed by the way they play, but, boy, they just laid an egg.
Well, I would have thought, frankly, I mean, based on my limited knowledge, I would have had A&M maybe at a 6 or a 5, and I'd had Penn State maybe in that 8 or 9 game. I tell you, Penn State, anybody that watched them last night, I don't know who they're playing, to be honest with you, in Texas. Well, anybody that watched Penn State and Texas play last night feels like Penn State's got a chance, just like anybody that watched Kansas and Arkansas yesterday.
Yep.
Feels like Arkansas has got a fun, you've got a puncher's chance tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, you guys are talking about the Aggies. I don't feel sorry for them at all.
I'm not saying I feel sorry for them. I'm just saying I was puzzled by where both teams were seated.
They got clocked yesterday, and it was glorious. Didn't watch a second of it, but Colgate was playing Texas pretty good, and then Texas just kind of took over with their talent. That's going to be an intriguing game again, following years. I know you've got obligations and stuff, but I'm planning on staying for that game after because I think it's going to be one that might go down the wire like Arkansas and Kansas.
Do you guys pull for SEC teams? Because I do. Now, I'm not going to pull for Alabama. I'm going to pull for whoever Alabama's playing.
Maryland.
But I pulled for the SEC teams. I was sorry to see A&M lay an egg last night.
It's a case-by-case basis.
I think when the league wins, it validates the Razorback program. That's what I think. That's why I root for the league in a lot of cases. Even though you may have lost to A&M, even though you may have lost to that team that wins, it validates the quality of this league. So, and I thought yesterday they had about a B- day. It was an okay day. It wasn't a great day. So,
well, I thought it was a really good day. I mean, who lost? A&M?
You had A&M lose yesterday. You had Mississippi State lose on Tuesday. Missouri won. Bama won. Auburn won. Arkansas won.
Tennessee won.
And Tennessee won. So 5 of 6. That's pretty good.
5-1's a pretty good day.
Yeah.
So 5-1's a pretty good day.
Kentucky's taking up. Maybe you could say that the second best team in your league got clocked by the 10th best team in the Big Ten, but
I don't know what the percentages are going to be when we get to the end of the tournament, but I think the SEC will have the most tournament wins.
Could be. We'll see what Alabama does. Did you see Brandon Miller's got a groin injury he's dealing with? That's what Natos was talking about after the game. That's something me and Tommy spoke to. So 2 1 seeds, Marcus Sasser, basically their best players, Sasser for the Cougars and Miller for the Crimson Tide, dealing with injuries. That's something that I don't think either of those coaches anticipated heading these games later on tomorrow.
Well, let's think back, though, to a few days ago. We were talking about how's Anthony Black going to be? I mean, he's got a boot on. What's he going to be able to give you? And he goes out and, well, I'll tell you what he gives you. He gives you 12 and 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those guys will play. I know Miller didn't do much last night, but they didn't need him to.
So St. Patrick's Day. I don't think any of us done a real good job of getting our green on today, but hey, if it's going to be your turn to be the designated driver this weekend, take that role seriously. Don't consume alcohol, not even one drink. Don't depend on the luck of the Irish this weekend. Remember, drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
Tommy, you were talking about brackets. Who is Radio Man in our Morning Rush group? Do you know who that is?
I believe that is Jamie Holt.
Okay. Well, Jamie is up on the ESPN Arkansas team. We got a couple people on top of the Morning Rush group. If you hadn't signed up yet, hitthatline.com/bracket. Tommy, we got a long way to go these next few days.
Yeah, if you didn't get in or your bracket's like mine, it's already charred. You can get it in on the Sweet 16 bracket, which will be out Sunday night, and you can, like me, take a mulligan, start over. I think I lost the first two games of the day yesterday. Didn't go my way. So
we're live at the Breakfast
Club.
Yeah, well, it was rough for me, too. We're live at the Breakfast Club this morning, Chuck and I, in Des Moines. Taking your calls at 877-377-6963. If you got some thoughts on the game last night, the Auburn series, or the Kansas game on Saturday, we'll do that all morning. 2 more hours of the Morning Rush. Fast Break Friday is next.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
And this is Robert.
And we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Matt, this is an awesome time of the year.
Dad, I agree. Winter's almost over, and it's beginning to feel like spring.
Plus, it's Razorback basketball and baseball time.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need, whether it's a shirt for the game, decorations for the wall, or furniture for the man cave.
Or my favorite thing.
Let me guess, stuff for the grill?
Yep, a new line of grilling tools with baseball bat handles just hit the door. I'm talking spatulas, tongs, you know, the entire works.
Yeah, Dad, we know you like the grill, but Mom's the real grill master.
Now, hold on just a minute.
Hang on, that's your dad's side showing
what?
Again.
Where?
Oh, never mind.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop on Razorback and check out all the new Razorback stuff for tournament time and baseball season.
Dad, you might want to tell them where we are first.
Oh, yeah. We're at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium, or you can call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. And, Matt, tell them about that interfacegram, you know, that stuff.
What he means to say is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. NickandEllie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Advanced Mechanical Performance, your premier UTV, off-road, truck, and Jeep repair facility. Whether it's a lift kit, an oil change, or a complete makeover of your machine, go see Cody and the gang at AMP and get it right the first time. These guys know what they're doing and are doing what they know. Advanced Mechanical Performance, 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Call them today at 434-4161.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Fast, reliable, local. 3 reasons to choose Dobson Fiber for your business internet and phone needs. Why is Dobson better? Because we're an all-fiber network, 100%. The Dobson network includes over 4,900 miles of fiber optic cable. And because we're all fiber, we have over 99% uptime. Come work with real local people. We've lived and worked in the communities we've served for 85 years. Choose Dobson Fiber for your business today. Visit us at dobson.net.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny, a cooler day, our high upper 40s to lower 50s with a brisk northwesterly wind, 20 up to 30 miles per hour at times. Mainly clear, a cold one tonight, upper 20s to low 30s. And then sunny skies on Saturday, our high will be in the low 40s north, low 50s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Outside is fun again with Mosquito Joe. Mosquito Joe rids your yard of pesky mosquitoes, ticks, and fleas so you can enjoy being outside. Call Mosquito Joe at 479-202-9960 or visit ArkansasMosquitoJoe.com.
KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
There's only 32 of us left. Let's go. There's only 32 of us left right now. All right, hey, right now preparation starts for Kansas. Yep. Not tonight, not right now. Put their depth chart up. We got you.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
It's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush live from the Breakfast Club in Des Moines. You know, it's really unique. I was sitting next to assistant coach Gus Arginal, Anthony Rua, and also Hunter Yurchek yesterday, and they were scouting the Howard-Kansas game. You heard Muss talk about scouting there. Going to talk about that with Chuck and Tommy coming up.
You know, sometimes pain can keep you from doing what you love to do, and nothing will heal your pain other than an NCAA tournament win faster than a trip to QC Kinetics. Seems like that winning will mask the pain for a little while as well. But, hey, if your doctor has told you that steroids or drugs or surgery and lots of downtime is the only way to get your joint pain under control, QC Kinetics right here in Northwest Arkansas has an exciting cutting-edge approach with regenerative medicine that can heal your joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime for weeks or months on end. Learn about this wildly popular, all-natural alternative way to getting lasting pain relief. I've used it. It worked for my shoulder. It'll help for your knees, back, hips, wherever you're hurting. They can help heal that with no surgery and no drugs. Call QC Kinetics. They can see you next week. 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
Chuck, kind of give us a look behind the curtain of what happens with this prep for Kansas.
Well, I think, when you get in a tournament situation and, you got your first-round game, you got 4 or 5 days to prepare. As we've discussed, you got a scout coach that is getting ready. Somebody's, for example, had the assignment of Kansas. Somebody had the assignment of Howard in the event you had a monumental upset. You talked about Ruda being there and Gus being there. Keith Smart was there. He was sitting a few rows back. And I don't know which one of them had the scout. Coach Smart was kind of writing like maybe it was him. But and this is not unique to Arkansas. This is not the only place that does it. But, in a situation like this, they come back to the hotel. First thing you do is go into the team meeting room. You got food in there post-game, and you're watching video of Kansas, and you're getting the first scout of Kansas right there. And you're just getting back to the hotel. You've not been to your room yet. And you spend some time in there, not a real long time, and then you go back to your room for a little bit. Then you have another meeting in about an hour. Mm-hmm. That's a little bit longer one. And there's no game today. So, you do some walkthrough stuff and you do some scouting, for lack of a better way to put it, big general term there. You do some scouting in that room. And today they'll go practice. And they'll practice what they began to implement last night. They'll take it out to the court today. And it'll be really, let's face it, it's fast turnaround. But it's the same thing for Kansas. And it's the same thing for everybody that played yesterday and will play tomorrow. And those that will play today and end up playing Sunday. Again, it's not unique, but it kind of gives you an idea about how this works. We go back to the room. Take our shoes off, plop our feet up, watch the other games.
Who's winning?
Yeah. How's my bracket looking?
Yeah.
Players don't have that luxury, so it happens real fast. And, they had 2 sessions. And I'm sure other teams that won yesterday did the same thing.
Better be organized.
You got a new game to play now.
Well, I appreciate that. I know our audience kind of gives us that glimpse behind the scenes. Speaking of luxuries, Brendan Stuttgart is always a luxury to talk with him. Brent, good morning. How about that win last night, man?
Oh, it was beautiful, wasn't it, Ty? And Ty, you have reached the mecca of a sports reporter for ESPN Radio now. Okay.
How's that?
Hey, you asked a question at the post-game press conference right after Bob Holt, I do believe, the dean of questions for Razorback Athletics.
Was it Bob's second or third follow-up question that Ty was behind?
Oh, I believe it was his first. I believe it may have been his first question of the day.
Ty got in the way of a follow-up.
Yeah, Ty, you made Bob lose his game of thought. But I just want. Hey, Chuck, are you there?
I'm here, Brent. How's it going?
Oh, Chuck, you know me. On game days, go through about Lord knows how many heaters. I was a nervous wreck, but it all worked out. And then I fall asleep after the game and wake up and see the used car salesman, evangelist / 3-piece suit wearing Texas A&M coach Buzz, whatever his last name is, I don't know. He's on his way back home to College Station along with Wade Taylor III, who Kermit Davis said was going to be the breakout star of the NCAA tournament. Wade, you're headed back to Lancaster, Texas. That's all I can tell you. But on a serious note, it was a really good game, and we played really good. And Chuck, who is the assistant coach that's had to take over for Kansas since Coach Self has had the heart?
What's his last name? Howard
Peters, isn't it? Norm Peters.
Yeah, hold on, I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
I don't recall his name.
I
think Self will be back Saturday. I think he'll be back tomorrow.
Oh, it won't be good for his heart.
Roberts is his last name, I think.
I think it's Norm Roberts.
Oh,
Robertson.
Yeah.
Oh, Norm Roberts. He won about 3 games at St. John's as the head coach. But it won't be good for Bill Self's heart if he tries to come back tomorrow. I'm just going to tell you, this weekend is a great weekend. Hogs play at 4. Baseball, great. Tomorrow they start at 2. I can watch 2 hours of that, or an hour and a half, and then turn it on to the pregame show and hear your and Z's knowledge. And I just wanted to tell y'all, on a funny note, my sister calls me yesterday and she says, a friend of theirs was up in Fort Smith area doing business, and they called her and they said, "Is your brother Brent from Stuttgart?" They said, "Yes, he is." And he said he was on the radio the other day with Tommy and Ty. She said, "I hope he kept it clean, and I hope he was knowledgeable." They said, "Yeah, the three of them were pretty knowledgeable. I cannot lie." But y'all have a great day. Chuck, keep it moving, keep it grooving up you and Ty. Have you some eggs and hash browns.
All right, buddy.
Hey, don't run out of heaters now, Brent.
Thanks,
Don't run out of heaters.
Oh, no, I gotta go get a carton for the weekend.
You want to smoke a couple heaters later on today with me, Chuck?
Brent is a piece of work now.
It's cold
He's
as it
a
is.
piece of work.
Hey, you boys got some weather. You may need some heaters up there. Different kinds, multiple kinds of heaters.
Pretty chilly. Wind chill of about 8 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Got out of the ball game yesterday. Snow was falling, and it's not warmed up since. I can tell you that.
You've sounded excited about it, so
it's a little too cold for me.
Well, Chuck braved the storm this morning, Tommy. He wanted to talk with you and me so bad he walked 3 miles from his hotel to get here to the breakfast.
Was it
club.
uphill the whole way?
Yeah, it was in the snow, uphill.
So,
bad.
Yeah, well, Ty will buy you some coffee. He's just going to expense it anyway, so, you know. Hey, we're brought to you by APAC Arcola. They have immediate job openings in Boone, Marion, Baxter, Benton, Washington counties. If you are listing in North Central Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, they have a spot for you on their team. CDL licensed CDL drivers, heavy equipment operators, concrete finishers, diesel mechanics, electricians. The list goes on and on. In fact, you can see the entire list at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a great sign-on bonus, benefits that include insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Sounds just like the radio business. Apply online at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
All right, we're going to get into our Morning Rush Daily Question coming up. Not only was the Arkansas win awesome, but you had some great finishes in college basketball. We'll tell you about them next.
ESPN Arkansas is on the road with the Hogs in Des Moines, Iowa at the NCAA tournament. Our live coverage is presented by Mossback Fish Habitat, made in Arkansas to enhance your fishing success rate. Get your fish habitat products today at mossbackfishhabitat.com. Big Creek Trading Company, everything you need to get ready for the upcoming turkey season or fishing trip at the corner of Highway 62, 65, and 412 just south of...
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacale, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share. Every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Extra at 7:30. Is that right?
I love listening to upsets, but if you're really going to do it, you got to do it the right way, and that's the voice of whoever's calling the game.
Bounder. Clark gets it in, gets it back with 10. Clark double teamed along the baseline, throws it up the floor, intercepted by Heen. Pegues for three, and the win. He got it with 2.2 to go. 68-67 Paladins. Virginia calls its final timeout. They get it into Beekman on the right side. His three on the way. No! And Furman wins it! J.P. Pegues getting mobbed by his teammates right here in front of us. The Paladins win it 68-67.
The Furman Paladins beat Go ahead, Tommy.
I would say, did y'all get a chance? I know y'all were in the throes of things there. Did y'all see the end of this game and how that played out?
I did.
I mean, you talk about peeing down one leg. Virginia in that full court, I mean, they act like they had never seen a press before in their life. Who throws the ball up over their head to half court the way that game played out?
A guy that panics.
Boy, he did, didn't he?
Panics in a crucial moment.
Kai Clark.
Now, first off, I mean, corner out of bounds plays are very difficult. Mm-hmm. Corner out of bounds plays of side out of bounds, baseline out of bounds, corner out of bounds, tough. And they had it well defended. But he was choked. He panicked, and it doesn't make him a bad kid. I'm sure he feels awful. We've all choked in our lives. We've all panicked in our lives, and he panicked. And they had a timeout left. Mm-hmm. And,
and had 8 seconds left on the backcourt count, probably.
Yeah, that's on Tony Bennett as well for not calling that timeout.
I don't know about that. I mean, you got everything. I mean, these are players now. I mean, the idea that a coach over on the bench, you got a guy right there that's played in a lot of games.
Here's why I disagree with you.
I don't know that you can just. I don't think you can pin this just on the coach. I think it's a collective failure.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like I said, Kai Clark. It's not like that's a freshman. Kai's played for the Cavs for like 4 or 5 years. That kid was on the team that won the national championship.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
No, I understand. Sometimes people that are really good at what they do screw up, and everybody around them's left scratching their head, and that's what happened.
Bennett didn't have time to call a timeout, Ty. That's why I disagree on that, because he literally chunks the ball over his head with 1 second into that trap, and he just heaves it. I mean, just irresponsibly heaves that ball. I mean, just a terrible way to play that. The end of your season. He'll never forget that the rest of his life. Neither will Virginia fans.
His last game.
Yeah,
that was his last game.
Right.
Unfortunately.
I mean, that's hey, that's what makes the NCAA tournament, the joy and the agony and all the things that come with winning and losing.
The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat.
Yeah, that's right. You can see that guy on his skis right now busting it on ABC's Wide World of Sports,
right.
man.
Was it
One
Jim
of the great
Whittaker?
intros of all time, Jim McKay.
Of all the Thursday games that we got a chance to watch yesterday outside of Arkansas and Illinois, was that the best conclusion? I know Princeton pulled it out. We'll get to that call coming up. But was the Virginia game?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're what, 2 hours and 15 minutes into the day, and everybody's brackets exploded?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, the insurance company that had that $1 million payoff insured for the perfect bracket, I mean, they're popping the corks.
They're good.
Because they don't have to worry about that anymore. So that's what makes it fun. And I don't know the Furman play-by-play guy, but that call's going to live forever. It will live forever. He can do just about anything he wants to on the microphone the rest of his broadcast career, and he's going to be an icon at Furman. That's the biggest win in the history of their program. I can't imagine that, unless they win again, that, they're going to have a bigger one. So, that's a call that's going to live forever. And hey, he managed his emotion and got it out and didn't have to take a breath and all that stuff. So good for him.
Mechanically sound.
Well, I don't know about mechanically sound, but he didn't let his emotion get to the point where he couldn't understand what he was saying. So that's the biggest thing, right? Hey, look, when you're the home team's announcer, your job is to embody the emotion that the average listener has inside them at that moment. And every Furman fan out there was screaming just like he was. And so every time they hear it, they'll remember where they were for the rest of their lives, just like when we hear Mike Nail's call. And I remember exactly where I was when that happened, and everybody that watches Furman will do the same thing.
Yeah. All right, that's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge is in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Baxter Health. Compassionate care beyond measure.
We're here at the Breakfast Club in Des Moines, Iowa, reacting to Arkansas' 73-63 win over the Fighting Illini. That's what Ryan in Hot Springs also wants to do this morning. Good morning, Ryan.
Hey, buddy. So I don't know if y'all got to see it or not, but during the post game, Chuck had said he gives us a puncher's chance, and I wanted to let him know that Charles Barkley agreed with him. He said if Arkansas,
well, I got that going
Chuck.
for me. Hey, me and
So-
Barkley.
Chucks.
So he said that if Arkansas can clean up the turnovers, he does like Arkansas's chance to possibly beat Kansas. He said he likes the matchup. He just said if they can clean up the turnovers, he said that's going to be a really good game and actually gives us a chance to win that game. And, I mean, that made me feel a whole lot better about going to that Kansas game. I was going to answer a question y'all were asking earlier, too. Y'all were asking if we root for other SEC teams. For me, the only team that I kind of root for too is kind of Georgia and Mississippi State, and it kind of Georgia in pretty much all sports as long as they're not playing Arkansas. Georgia in football, and the reason being is because their fan base kind of roots for ours because because Sam Pittman was so endeared to them. So because they root for us, I kind of root for them as long as they're not playing us. But outside of that, depends on who they're playing. Like now, say Auburn's playing Texas, I'll go ahead and root for Auburn. But outside of that, no. But that's my thoughts. I hope y'all have a great day, and let's beat Kansas.
Ryan, appreciate it. What do you want to bet Charles Barkley thinks they got a puncher's chance against Houston Cougars, his Auburn Tigers? Want to bet? I'd guess that.
Well, I do. They're playing in Birmingham.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be like playing Arkansas in Little Rock in an NCAA tournament game. So, I mean, yeah, they got a shot at it. Here's the thing about Houston. They play a lot of close games. Tight games, low-scoring games against teams that are lesser opponents. They don't phase them at all. Last night's game, I watched them, at least a good bit of it, typical Houston game. I mean, they just guard the crap out of you. They dare you to score. And I'm sure they feel like, if we can get to 55, we're going to win. And a lot of times that's true.
What about Sasser? Growing injuries seem to be a big headline in this tournament with Miller and Sasser for Houston, Miller for Alabama. Can they beat Auburn without Sasser?
Well, I would imagine Sasser will, he'll give them as much as he can. Yeah, I think they can beat them without Sasser because they can guard so well. That would be the thing that I would say. Houston is elite defensively. And so, yeah, I think they can beat him without him, but I would expect them to get a little bit more out of him tomorrow. These teams are smart. I mean, kind of like Brandon Miller with Alabama. They know what's coming, and they're going to be bigger games. Got a bigger one tomorrow for both those teams.
Yeah, and Tommy, I think it's on that Houston-Auburn game. It depends on what Wendell Green shows up. He didn't score against Arkansas in the second half of the SEC tournament. He's gone off for 20-plus before. I mean, if they can get something big out of him, then I think the Auburn has a much better chance in that game.
Here's what I want to know. Can Arkansas stop Jalen Wilson? Can Arkansas cool off Grady Dick? These are the things that I think Razorback fans, and the caller a minute ago was talking about Kansas. I've seen bigger Kansas teams. I've seen taller Kansas teams. I'm not saying that they're not a great team. They are. I've seen more physically imposing Kansas teams. I was sitting courtside just like you were. I was there when they ran out on the floor. First thing Z said was they're not as big as they usually are. He coached against them a lot. Coached against them a lot when he was at Mizzou. So, Kansas is a great team. I mean, they are. And I think the remark about turnovers is exactly right. If Arkansas can limit the turnovers, they got a real shot to win this game. If they don't, they're going to get beat.
Just to put what Chuck's saying in perspective, their big guy that starts at center, KJ Adams, is about 6'8". Grady Dick's 6'7". Jalen Wilson's about 6'4". DeJuan Harris is pretty short. I mean, Arkansas matches up man for man well with them. And Wilson is an All-American. He is a Wooden Award candidate. Dick's one of the best shooters in college basketball. But if you limit Grady Dick shooting the ball, those guys are very inconsistent from three.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something. Limiting Grady Dick's easier said than done. I watched him up close yesterday. That guy can get a shot off in just about any situation. He drained a three yesterday, and I mean, first off, I don't know how the guy didn't block it. And, you want to talk about hands in the eyeballs. I mean, it was great defense. It was great defense. Closed, did everything right. And, man, he just drained it. It was nothing but the bottom. So, you cannot give the ball away. That has been, frankly, my biggest issue all season long. Is you have to value possession of the ball.
They had a few turnovers yesterday where AB was trying to get it on the fast break, and he was trying these basically either cross-court or go-ahead passes, and Illinois just read them. You have to get out in transition against Kansas, but if you're going to make those long passes, you've got to know where the guys in the passing lanes are.
Good thing about yesterday's game, when you look at Arkansas, 11 turnovers, that's manageable. That's a number you can live with, but there was only 4 in the second half. They had 7 of their turnovers in the first 20 minutes, and we talk about free throw shooting. Yesterday was much better for the Razorbacks at 75%, but they made shots down the stretch, and it's how you play in that last 10 minutes that it's going to win you the ball games.
Well, turnovers, you can look at them statistically, but sometimes they don't always tell the story. I'll give you an example. A couple of those turnovers last night, Arkansas gave away and then got right back. I mean, there were a couple of 2 or 3 really frenetic sequences there where there was, each side gave it away. So I know there were 2 instances where Arkansas turned it over and got it right back. Live ball turnovers, giving up easy baskets at the other end, points off turnovers. It's all that stuff runs together. But I thought Arkansas, from a turnover standpoint, was better last night. And they're going to have to be better tomorrow than they were last night or yesterday because, Kansas is better than Illinois.
Yeah. I think you're on to the right thread here as far as if you're going to win this game, If you're going to beat Kansas and you're going to, shock the world, as they say, but take down a 1 seed, you're going to do it with defense. This is not, we can talk about points, and we're going to determine the winner by who puts the most points on the board, but Arkansas is going to win this game with their defense if they win it.
Well, if they win the ball game, they're going to have to win it like they won yesterday. Like they're going to have to win every game in the NCAA tournament. If, however far they go, this is how they're going to have to win it. They're going to have to play defense. They're going to have to rebound the way they did last night. They're going to have to limit the other side to one shot, and that's a big issue to me tomorrow. When I look at this team right now, you avoid turnovers when you've got the ball. You limit the other side to one shot. You're going to be in the game at the end.
Yeah. I know a lot of people, where I was watching the game, there was frustration. And, Ty, we were talking about this earlier, that Arkansas had the lead and it kind of felt like you were sitting on the lead and you got out of your rhythm. Chuck, that sequence with, 4 or 5 minutes, I was starting to count possessions. All right, you got a 10-point lead. There's 4 minutes to play. If you get 1.5 possessions or so at work, you start thinking about the math and how a team can catch up. Did it feel to you like they got out of the rhythm? How'd you feel about that last 4 or 5 minutes of the ball game?
Well, I think they play like they always play it. Muss is a numbers guy, he's an analytics guy, and he does what I'm sure not on the fly because they've prepared for all this, and they're counting possessions too. And, the analytics. And, look, Muss has done this ever since he got here. And I know people complain about it and gripe about it. But if Arkansas's got a lead like they had last night, 5 or 6 minutes, they're going to go into that mode. They've done that from his first game. And they're not going to stop. Some people don't like it. Some people do. But that's how he does it. Kind of like some people don't like it when you don't call a timeout. And other times they do. I think he called a couple last night. So, people are just going to have different views on that.
Go ahead, Tom.
I just kept saying, if they can score on 2 possessions, you got 4 minutes. If you can just score twice, you win the game because there's just not that many touches unless you turn it over. And they pretty well took care of it.
Here's the thing about that, and I know, look, I see it too. I'm a fan just like everybody else, and there are times, it's like, I wish we weren't doing that here. And everybody does that. There's nothing wrong with that. But more oftentimes than not, when you do it that way, you come out with a win. And crazy things happen. I think about the Iowa regular season game a couple of weeks ago where where are they down, 12 with like 48 seconds left, something like that. You don't want to get into an up-and-down game. And you may not be scoring, but they're not either. And you do not, at that situation, when you've got the lead like that, want to turn it into something frenetic. And that's one of the reasons you do it. Now, is it a debatable point? Well, sure. But that's part of the reason you do it. You may be a little out of sync offensively, but they don't have the ball.
It forces you to take care of the ball, but it also forces their defenders to play tight defense and maybe pick up a 4th foul or a 5th foul late in the game that could be decisive for some teams' lineup. So, you press their defense just like they're going to press your ball handlers.
You also had this situation where during that sequence where the oop, where Nick Smith tried that alley-oop council, Muss was kind of laughing.
We didn't see much after that of Nick, did we?
No, Muss was kind of laughing about that at the end of the game. I think what is like either good and bad is Nick didn't have a good offensive game, but he still won by 10. So you can take away some good things from that, the fact that you're still able to win by double digits. But if Nick has the game he did last night, you're not beating Kansas.
I'm not going to nitpick about one single thing in the ball game yesterday. There are 32 teams left, and Arkansas is one of them. And they won the game. And I don't care how you win. I don't care if you shoot 20% and you find a way to win. You've had a great day, and there's nothing to nitpick. It's hard to win. When you're on that floor in a game like that, just being down there, you feel the pressure. You feel the moment. And I can only imagine what it's actually like for those who are going through it, So, hey, when you win a game like this, everybody enjoy it. And if you're a fan, live it up. Enjoy the game today. Talk to all those, if you're in Northwest Arkansas especially, talk to all those Kansas fans. Talk to all your family members, the smart ones that went to KU. Talk to them, talk to them today. Enjoy it, It may be over tomorrow, but, hey, we may be going to Vegas. Yeah. We'll just have to see. Hey, let me talk to the people in North Central Arkansas for just a second about Baxter Health. We talk about compassionate care beyond measure, and being able to have that in your own backyard for those in North Central Arkansas around the Mountain Home, Harrison areas, it really is one of the great things that, living in that area provides is not only beautiful scenery but great health care as well. And Baxter Health really is the hospital, the facility. They're the ones that get a lot of credit for that. We talk about a lot of the programs that they offer. They've got the new Baxter Health Urology Clinic in Harrison, for example. Dr. Ferguson's been seeing patients there since the first part of February. Now, he's been there a long time. If you're in Harrison, you probably know him. But you can call them, as a matter of fact, at 870-741-2317. And I'll also tell you that the Baxter Health Urology Clinic in Harrison is now hiring nursing staff. There's sign-on bonuses. If you're an experienced LPN, you can join the team of quality care providers. Visit workwhereyouvacation.com. Again, that's compassionate care beyond measure, Baxter Health.
I got to tell you all about this funny incident yesterday. So I'm getting off the elevator prior to the Arkansas and Illinois game and during the end of the Howard, Kansas game. And this guy in a suit, as soon as we open the elevator, it's like, y'all need to get off and exit. I didn't know what was going on or whatever. I looked at him for a sec because I thought he was just looking at the security guy. I said, no, y'all need to get off and exit now. And so I'm walking out. I'm really confused. I walked downstairs and I didn't realize I had forgotten that Vice President Harris was in attendance.
Vice President was in the city.
And I was like, oh, that was Secret Service. But it took me that. And he was very – I just had a bucket of chicken strips and fries, and he's looking at me. He's like, you need to get off now or whatever. And I was like, why is this guy telling –
I guess she was in the locker room. Is that right?
I think Musk got a picture with her at some point.
Again, these are the moments that live forever for these kids. And I don't care what your political affiliation is. When the Vice President of the United States walks into your locker room or walks into your area, it's an honor. And it's something you remember for the rest of your life. And for these kids to have that opportunity, I remember when, in the glory days when President Clinton would seemingly pop up at every game, and
what's up, Prez?
what a thrill it was. We view things through the pop culture lens sometimes, but when you step back and you think about a 19, 18-year-old kid, you've just won an NCAA tournament game, the Vice President of the United States is there. I mean, you'll be talking about that 50 years from now.
Well, I mean, what's it been, 54 years, and we still talk about Hogs, Horns, and Nixon coming. And,
sure.
That's still, I mean, if you just say that phrase, everybody knows exactly what year you're talking about, what game you're talking about. And when the president, I remember, famously landed Air Force One in Fort Smith, and they took a helicopter to Fayetteville, and George Bush was there as well. I mean, that's still a day that for a lot of fans, even ones like me that weren't alive, exactly what that day was about.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk to the people in Fort Smith right now, some of the people that are of my generation. I remember when Gerald Ford came and they dedicated what was then, I don't know what the hospital out there is called now. It was St. Edward's.
It's Mercy now.
And I remember when Gerald Ford came to Fort Smith in, 75, 74, somewhere in that, and they dedicated the hospital. Yep. And my point is that regardless of how you feel about politics, you remember those days forever.
Yeah.
You remember them forever. And so for these kids to have that experience is really a neat thing.
George Bush, the son, the second George Bush, the president, I get HW and the other one mixed up, but he came to Van Buren and spoke at the middle school there. And as a guy in radio, I got a credential and got to go. Just to be in the same room with the president is a pretty neat and memorable deal.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
It's pretty cool. All right, back to the game again. Arkansas had a big 10-0 second half run. We were talking about them again at points during that game. It looked like Illinois was going to make a run, but one of the guys that really stood out during the course of the game was Devontae.
He knows that I really believe in him, really trust in him, whether he's on the ball, whether he's off the ball, and certainly the defensive assignment that he gets assigned to on a nightly basis. So there's often times where there's just a connection and a belief that he's going to come up in big moments. And certainly tonight was another one that he was able to do that for us with his scoring and, let's face it, his defense as well.
One thing about Devo that I've really come to believe over the course of this season, everybody in their work organization, you think about this, there's always one person that if they're there, you feel like everything's going to be okay. You know, there's one member of your family when a crisis comes up. If that family member's there, everything's going to be okay. I think Devo's like that for this basketball team. When Devo's out on the floor, when he's guarding their best player, when he's in rhythm offensively, as he was yesterday, you just feel like everything's going to be okay. And for some of these freshmen, for Black and Walsh and even Nick, I think that his presence, just the fact that he's there, the fact that he's been in these moments and he's won in these moments, I think there's a comfort level there. I think sometimes with these young guys, and I really believe this, that with Devo and Kamani are out there, everything's going to be okay.
Tommy, I don't know if you saw this or not, one of the funniest things that happened during the game is Kamani got like three straight offensive rebounds, finally put it up, and Nick was hyped and accidentally pushed him.
Yeah.
And he pushed him over. And come on, they're laughing, they're hugging in the sideline after.
I thought it was an F1 on Nick. So.
Yeah, that was just
surprised I didn't get him with an F1.
The intensity of that game, I mean, Kamani brought it from the jump, as did Devo. Those two guys really stepped up from you as veterans.
All right, we'll take.
I don't know if you guys. Excuse me. Go ahead, Tom.
I'm saying we'll get our picks here in just a minute as the Fitz man's coming in. We'll get ready for our picks. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. I can tell you, it'd be a great place if you're not going to be at the game. You think about those places you can hang out and watch all the games and just have some fun. Gaston's would be a good spot. And maybe make your reservations for the next time the tournament rolls around, or a big game weekend, or, hey, maybe a big college baseball weekend. Gaston's has all the great spots there along the White River, 80 private cabins and lodges. Be a great place to welcome in spring here in just a few days. Spring break's coming up. Still got a few spots open for that as well. 870-431-5202 is their number. Ask about a guided fishing trip on the White River as well. It's all at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
You're in the middle of Fast Break Friday on the Morning Rush presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Light beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Champion Cycling, located at 5500 Mazard Road, is the only locally owned bike shop in Fort Smith and wants to help you find the joy in cycling that has been part of their family for years. Their goal is to find the right bike for you, whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure. Champion Cycling has a great selection of bikes, including brands from Specialized, Pivot, and Look. Whether it's fixing a flat tire or a basic tune-up, their dependable service department is ready to help. Stop by Champion Cycling and they will help you find your joy in cycling.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
I may not know much about my SUV and what makes it go, but I do believe in history. And if you can be local and in business since 1984 and have the reputation for good, honest service Jody's has, that's all I need, with pickup and delivery and free shuttle service and coupons to save me money. Jody's. My SUV goes to Jody's for everything.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we can do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook where you can check out their work.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache. Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Let's get going here on your Hog Update as Arkansas wins 73-63 over the Fighting Illini here in Des Moines yesterday. You got the Kansas Jayhawks at 4:15 on CBS tomorrow. We'll also have it for you right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Tommy?
Yeah, going to be a great afternoon. Baseball in front of that. We'll leave the baseball broadcast to get to basketball. Going to be a full day of it right here on ESPN Arkansas.
Later today, you will get to hear about the baseball team at 4, also on the SEC Plus. And, Tommy, you were kind of alluding to the change of schedule a little bit.
Yep, move the game up to 4 o'clock today. Colder conditions expected later in the night. Chuck, they just need to have good enough weather so the pitchers can pitch today, and they're going to start the game a little early.
Yeah, I guess you try to get a little sunshine there, maybe if you're lucky. That's the issue, I think. And sounds like tomorrow's going to be cold, but the sun will be out. I heard Tabor talking earlier, and he's right that players are used to this. This is not it's not the first time it's happened. I've walked into that stadium over the years when snow flurries were falling and they played the game. And you watch Major League Baseball at the start of the year, they play in snow. It's not ideal, and I wouldn't want to be the one doing it. But, hey, they're kids. They can handle it.
Well, and Tommy, Chuck's a man's man, so he left the press box open, the window open,
and the fan on.
Feel the elements like the players did, right, Chuck?
Well, for years that was kind of my trademark. Everybody in the booth knew no matter what the temperature was, those windows were going to be open. I've got a little soft in my old age. I'm not going to lie. There's been a game or two where we've kept those windows closed, so I guess you change as you get a little older.
Yeah.
Women's basketball wins last night by 22 over Louisiana Tech. They'll play Stephen F. Austin on Monday at 7 o'clock. And also Courtney Deifel's team softball squad in action this weekend against the Alabama Crimson Tide at Tuscaloosa, trying to bounce back after the Wichita State thing this weekend. That is going to do it for your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, we've got plenty of games to choose from. We are going to do some SEC games as we get into our Fence Man Friday picks this morning. Chuck and I are live in Des Moines. Sean, the Fence Man, is back in Arkansas. Sean, good Friday morning to you, man. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. We are having an amazing day here at the Fence Man.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear it. Are you ready to pick some games?
Let's get it done. Let's make it happen.
All right, let's get into it. It is our Fence Man Friday picks.
Fence Man Friday Picks. Call the Fence Man for all kinds of fences, controlled access, and custom iron projects. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. We ain't afraid of no work.
All right, Tommy took a slight lead last week. He's leading the way with 57 points. So myself, Sean, Chuck, we got some catching up to do. We're going to pick the SEC games today, or coming up in action. We'll talk about Arkansas and Kansas a little bit on Saturday as well. We'll start with the Auburn Tigers taking on Houston in Birmingham. Chuck, you made that note earlier. Tommy, since you're in the league, Houston is a 5.5-point favorite in this one. Do they win against the Auburn Tigers?
I don't know if they win, but 5.5 points is a lot for basically a home game for Auburn. I'll take Auburn in 5.5 against the Cougars.
That Sasser injury scares me if I'm a Houston Cougars fan, so I'm going to take Auburn as well, Tommy.
I'm going to go with Auburn. Houston plays a lot of close games. They win the vast majority of them, but they play a lot of them.
What are you thinking, Sean?
You know what? I'm going to go after Tommy, so I'm going opposite of Tommy from now on, so I win.
Going the Cougars.
Talk.
See, I did that about 3 months ago, and it backfired on me. I didn't realize this contest was going to last forever. I thought I had to shoot for the moon back in November, and can't do that.
It's just going and going.
It's hard to chase greatness, boys. It's just hard to chase greatness.
Well, you can't chase points too early in the game.
Yeah. All right, keeping it going with the SEC action. Alabama is an 8.5-point favorite against Maryland. Maryland narrowly escaped against West Virginia. And I'll take the Terps in this one. I think that Brandon Miller injury is more than Oates is letting on. I think Bama so ultimately wins the game, but I'll take the Terrapins, Tommy, in this one.
I'll take Bama and lay the points.
I'm going to go with Maryland. I'm going to be interested to see how tight the collars get as we move forward.
Sean, what do you think?
Same thing. Put me down the opposite of Tommy. Apple Taco. I'm coming for him now. Here we go.
Tommy's on an island. We'll see.
Sean shooting for the moon, man.
That's
Kentucky
right.
jacking up threes. Jacking up threes right now.
Yeah.
Lone SEC game today. The Wildcats taking on Ed Cooley and the Providence Friars. Tommy, does Cal get a 5-point or more victory today?
How many thousands of days since they've won a game in the tournament?
Woo,
you got that meter?
I think it was over 2,000. Man, I hope that thing keeps going after this game.
Hey, I'll take Providence in 4.5.
I'm going to take Kentucky.
I can't pick Kentucky. I'm going Friars. Go Friar Nation, Sean.
Nope. I'm going to go Kentucky. It's opposite, man.
That's fair.
I'm going to roll. Either I'm going to catch up or fall away.
It's either going to go really good or really bad for one of us.
All right, Arkansas against Kansas. Tommy, the Jayhawks are a 4.5-point favorite on the Bet Saracen app. We always talk about the lines from Bet Saracen when discussing gambling. Tommy, does Kansas, do they cover tomorrow?
Well, it's a tough one here, and I'm going to go with my bracket. I'm going to take Kansas.
Boo. Sean, what do you think?
Oh, no. That's one thing I was going to stay steadfast on. I'm going to hang with my Hogs. I'm a true fan. I'm going to stick with them all the way.
Listen, I said they're doing two things this trip. They're either losing Illinois or they're winning both. They are not losing tomorrow night. They are not losing against the Jayhawks tomorrow night. Taking the Hogs in this one, Chuck. You've got Missouri against Princeton. The Tigers are a 6.5-point favorite against the media darling Princeton.
I'll take Princeton in the points just because the kind of game I think it's going to be. But I think Missouri's going to win.
It's going to be a good game. I'm excited to watch that later on Saturday. We got a lot of good SEC games to look forward to these next couple of days. I cannot wait.
Look at the athleticism in our league. Look at the way it played a role in the games the SEC teams won yesterday, particularly on the defensive end. We focus on the basketball, but, man, it's that athleticism on the other end of the floor that gets you into the next round. And the teams in our league, save for A&M that played yesterday, all did a pretty good job of that.
Yeah. So, all right, those are our Fence Man Friday picks. The Fence Man's on the road today, probably out quoting jobs already this morning. Sean, I know you guys are staying busy as we head into the spring season, which begins next week.
Yes, sir. You are correct. I'm out here checking out a couple of commercial jobs we've got going on, make sure they go smooth for our customers, make sure my guys know exactly where they need to be and what they need to be doing. And, whether it's a commercial customer or residential customer, they're all super important to us. So if you want to get a free quote, give us a call here at 782-3936. We'll send out one of our lovely sales folks, come out and check you out, see what we can do for you. And, we're excited. We like to put in fence. We like to put in the good fence.
I know we've had a couple of storms that have moved through in the recent weeks, and one this week had a little bit of straight line winds with it. Someone's listening's had a couple of sections of fence blown down or needs some fence repair. Y'all don't just build fences. You'll help repair the ones that are out there as well.
We sure do. We have a couple of guys here in the shop I can send out. It's normally, we're very blessed for 4 to 6 weeks to get a fence done because, we just got such a great staff here. But a repair, we can probably get you in a couple of weeks. So I've got a couple of guys who can run out here and get them done pretty quick. So, yes, repairs, full fences, gate access, you name it. If it has anything to do with fence, we're the company to call because we'll get you handled.
They ain't afraid of no work at the Fence Man. 782-3936 is the number. Sean, enjoy the games this weekend, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, Sean with the Fence Man here with us says, get ready for another big day, guys. Half the field's going to be gone at the end of the day, and by Sunday, we'll be down to the Sweet 16, and we're hoping the Razorbacks are headed to Vegas to move on to the next round of the tournament. It is a Fast Break Friday. It's brought to you by QC Kinetics, the leader in regenerative care. They can take care of all that joint pain that's been bothering you. If the doctor said surgery, drugs, and downtime are the only way, let me tell you, there's a better way. Learn about it with QC Kinetics. Heal that joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
Last hour of a Fast Break Friday is next.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Good news.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. Bet Online, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
With a brisk northwesterly wind, 20 up to 30 miles per hour at times. Mainly clear, a cold one tonight, upper 20s to low 30s. And then sunny skies on Saturday. Our high will be in the low 40s north, low 50s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Put down the bug spray and pick up the phone before you head outside this summer. Call Mosquito Joe to keep your yard mosquito-free. Call 479-202-9960 or visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
All right, more of the Morning Rush coming up here as we're live in Des Moines this morning, getting you ready for the second game of the NCAA tournament for the Arkansas Razorbacks as they will take on Kansas here coming up. And, Ty, you're at the Breakfast Club this morning. You and Chuck having some breakfast.
Yes, we were chowing down. Chuck got a healthier thing than I did. He got a nice little omelet. Got the same thing as he did yesterday. I elected to go with the notorious B&G, Tommy. Biscuits and gravy topped with a fried egg and bacon. So I am doing anything but eating healthy this morning. But it is awesome. We've got still another hour to get to here on the Morning Rush. Plenty to talk about. Des Moines is a pretty cool town, Tommy. I've really enjoyed the last couple of days here, and it's nice to get to stay a little bit longer.
All right, so hour 3 of the Morning Rush is on the way in a few minutes. We'll take your calls and your text, 877-377-6963 for the Morning Rush.
You're listening to the Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
There's only 32 of us left. Let's go. There's only 32 of us left right now. All right, hey, right now preparation starts for Kansas. Yep. Not tonight, not right now. Put your depth chart up. We got you.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
All right, it's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush, live from the Breakfast Club in Des Moines, Iowa, reacting to Arkansas' 73-63 victory over the Fighting Illini. You know what? Every one of you has been in a locker room after a win at some point. Some even lucky
all
enough
of us.
to call it.
Everyone has.
You've
Everyone listening's been in a locker room
at some point in time.
I doubt if everyone listening's been in a locker room.
Most of the listeners,
maybe
have
at the
been in a locker
gym.
room.
Well,
maybe at Planet Fitness.
Let's just say a lot of people have been in a locker room.
A lot of people have been in the locker room at some point, and getting a chance to hear from that team last night, excited, and after that win, it's something special, and hopefully they have that same feeling.
There's nothing like a celebrated locker room, Ty. Nothing.
You got to be old enough to understand what celebrated locker room refers to.
You're smiling, and I know Tommy
that's
is.
what Houston used to say. Houston used to say, hey, if you want to hear some funny stuff over the years, and we don't have time for me to get into all of them, but the words and the names that coaches will butcher. I mean, it's unbelievable. It is just unbelievable. And they'll get a name in their head, and that's just how their name's pronounced. May not be right or not. Muss does it. Lots of them do it. Houston did it. They've all got – and Houston would always say there's nothing like a celebrated locker room. And, that was kind of his calling card there for a little while.
Muss kept calling Meyer Mayor.
Yeah,
in the press
Toshibwe.
Yeah, Toshibwe.
I've been so paranoid all year. When we played Kentucky the second time, I was so paranoid I was going to say Toshibwe because that's the way Muss have been saying. We've been talking. I heard him say Toshibwe all these times, and I thought, I'm going to screw up and say that. And fortunately, coaches can do that. Coaches can, I remember talking about Houston. Balsero was Balisario. And, lots of them do that. It's just kind of how it works.
Yeah. It is a Fast Break Friday. We hope, like we were talking earlier, Fast Break Friday continues for several more weeks. It's brought to you, not Fast Ball Friday. It's brought to you by QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative care. If you got achy joints that are hurting your back, your hips, your knees, your shoulders, you can live without pain and get moving again with QC Kinetics. Hey, the doctor said the old ways, like surgery, drugs, and being down for weeks rehabbing is the only way to fix your pain. There's a new way with QC Kinetics. Learn more about this wildly popular, all-natural alternative to get lasting pain relief. Call my friends at QC Kinetics. They're right here in Northwest Arkansas. They can see you next week. 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234 for QC Kinetics.
Chuck, I'm not going to lie, I look a little out of place right now. Every patron that's walked in lately is all wearing green. They're all dressed up for
St. Patrick's Day. I forgot about that, to be perfectly honest with you.
It's a good weekend, not just for college basketball, but all the festivities that include.
You're going to do the pub crawl? They got a big pub crawl down here today.
Am I going to do it? Yeah, is the Pope Catholic? Absolutely. After the work gets done, the fun begins. Okay. So I'll probably check out about, 4:45-ish. I can get done with my work by then. And then
not that you've got it planned.
Yeah,
Chuck, prop your feet up there. I don't want your shoes to get soiled.
I know.
So after
party man over here.
After that, we'll just I don't think Tommy or you will be able to contact me and pinpoint. You're welcome to join us as always. It's always
you.
That invitation always seems to get lost
I
in the
appreciate that. I appreciate the invitation.
You got it, man.
And I might be there.
Yeah. That's better than That's better than usual. It's I'm not coming.
Here's the thing. You have to understand, when I tell you I might be there, that's the same as saying I'm not coming. just so we understand each other.
I still remember the joy on my friends' faces when Chuck texted me in Indy 2 years ago, and he and Z came over. They were excited to meet Z too, but it was like they met the tooth fairy when Chuck walked by.
Well, I didn't drop any dollar bills like the Tooth Fairy does or anything like that. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed meeting your friends and all of them, and I don't want to make light of it. I enjoyed that.
Well, you're welcome to meet some new ones today later on. But listen,
that's as much feigned sincerity as you're going to get out of me this morning. I mean, that's about all I got.
I can smell the sarcasm from 7 hours away. Wow. I thought that was biscuits and gravy, but no, that was sarcasm.
That's the best I got right now.
I will say there are a good chunk. We were talking about this earlier. You've got some texts, more for ticket requests than anything, Chuck. Tommy, I'm assuming you probably got some as well, but I've got a good number of Morning Rush listeners that text me last night after the win. They said, we're going up to Des Moines either Saturday morning or later on today.
I got tickets, but they're for the baseball game. If you want to go to the baseball game, I can probably help you with that. That's about as far as I can go. I think it's going to be a hard ticket. I think, Chuck, you said you better run by the ATM and get some cash. you better be ready to lay down that credit card on StubHub or SeatGeek or wherever. I think it's going to be one of the hottest secondary ticket markets. And listen, if at A&M had won and they played Texas, it'd be even tougher to get a ticket.
Well, and, again, when Kansas played yesterday, I mean, that place was full. And by full, I don't mean mostly full. I mean full. Man, I was impressed. Now, it's a basketball school. But
and it's not far away. So
right. I mean, that's their reward for being the number one seeds. They get to play in their own backyard. Their people are here. But I also know that Arkansas fans will find a way. Always do.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just nice to be closer in proximity. That was one of the things I was asking Muss about earlier this week. But it's also nice when a couple of your guys step up. And we were talking about Kamani Johnson, Devo Davis. But I want to talk about Ricky Council for a sec, who really had two of his poor shooting games in the SEC tournament. Didn't score until like a minute left against Texas A&M. But, Chuck, he has 18 of 10, hits all 6 of his free throws in the second half, and he was huge for this basketball team yesterday.
My favorite part of the last night for Council was when he got that 10th rebound. He kind of let out this scream. And normally he does not set up on the low block for rebounds at the free throw line. But he knew his numbers. He knew he needed that board for a double-double. He hadn't had one as a Razorback. And so I don't know what happened. Gus was talking about this after the game, that I guess he switched spots with I didn't notice who normally set up down there on the low block, but he switched spots with him, and when that free throw missed, he got the rebound, and I mean he screamed like Shaq, getting a big board in the 7th game. So he was excited, and he had a big night. And again, we talked a little bit earlier about how for these kids, these are moments that will last forever. And Ricky Council, no matter what happens from this point forward, he had a double-double in an NCAA tournament game. Very few people walking the face of the earth will ever be able to say that.
Well, you guys were there and not watching on TV or listening on the radio, and you could see Jordan Walsh, who was shown in the moments following the game, just the emotion and just down the stretch. I mean, for the freshman who may not live this moment again. I mean, we don't know what the next few weeks hold for him, but a good chance that he could move on to professional ball. That you could see the emotion in Jordan Walsh there lately and what that game meant for him.
Means that much to all of them. It really does. And I wish that all the fans, every fan of every team, could see some of these kids behind the scenes, and I think you'd understand how much it does mean to them and how much they want to please you. If you're sitting driving your truck down the bypass right now, there's a gaggle of Razorbacks that want to please you.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to do well better than they do, and they're having the time of their lives right now.
Yeah, we hadn't mentioned this yet, but if you look at, I know stats aren't everything, but if you look at Jordan Walsh's line, it's that last number that probably one we ought to talk more about, that plus-minus number. Yep. He was at plus 22. I mean, that's off the charts good in a game that you win by 10.
Yeah, you can't always control that because you can't always control who you're out there with, but I thought Walsh had a good game, and sometimes and we're all this way. You notice the double-double from Council. You look at Devo's line, 16 and 6. But look at Mackay, 9 and 7. Look at Walsh, 6 and 4. Played defense all night long. Great defense, best I've seen him play. Kamani gives you 5 and 5. More O boards than the other side got the whole game. That's how you win. You're going to have spectacular games from guys here and there, but you win with those 9s and 7s and those 6 and 4s and those 5s and 5s. Those are the smaller numbers, but that's the difference. And Arkansas got production out of everybody. You're talking about the plus-minus. I'm looking at the plus-minus right now. Only 2 guys on the roster that had a minus in the plus-minus, which tells you the team played well all night. And those were small numbers. Those were small numbers. Kamani was -4, Nick was -2. Everybody else was in the positives. So it was a good night for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think everyone that watched that game, while the stat says that Kamani had a -4, he gave them.
Well, right. You can't control everything that's going on around you. So plus-minus is a really good indicator, but it's not always the complete tell-all.
And for Jordan is the 27 minutes because his foul trouble has limited his minutes in many, many ball games. He did have 4 fouls, and I'm with you. He played better defense. He still gets into fouls where he gets himself out of position, uses his hands too much, but the fact that he could just go 27 minutes, guys, is the reason he can have a number like that, because there are in a lot of games he's played nearly 30 minutes this year.
Yeah. And he got 4 fouls, like you said.
He got 4 fouls, but he still managed to play 27 minutes. So
I thought his defense, his intensity last night, I don't think there's anybody on the Razorback roster last night that frustrated the other side on the defensive end the way Jordan Walsh did. I mean, I just thought he was spectacular all night. We talked about it earlier. There was one sequence where Meyer got so frustrated they just had to take him out of the game.
He was, and that sequence was right in front of him, and Meyer just kept shaking his head because Jordan kept bottling him up.
He was so mad. Well, if it had been a playground game, they'd had a fight. You know, it's one of those deals where you're playing out on the playground, the guy frustrates you so much, finally you just push him down. And, you know, that's the way Meyer was. They had to get him out of there, or something like that was going to happen.
Yeah, it was a solid performance on defense. Think about this. Tommy, they shot 28% in the first half, they being the Fighting Illini. Arkansas limited them to 28% in the first half. Now, they went on a little run in the second like they have at points this season. But when you hold a team under 30%, there's a great chance you're going to win, and that's how Arkansas really got things going last night.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they've done. Like you said, they've shot poorly in the first half, and then 50% or better has been their, I think 51% or something like that was their season average in the second half. So not surprising what they've done. And I thought they shot too many threes early. They end up 6 of 22 for the ball game. They were 3 of 11 in both halves. But Chuck, it felt like early they were just chucking threes way too often the first 10 minutes of the game for Illinois.
You're saying Arkansas was chunking too many?
No, Illinois was.
Yeah, they were. You know, they had some issues. I mean, they did, and they're not a great 3-point shooting team, and that's probably the biggest issue. They did put a lot of, you know, they did shoot a lot of threes, and you look at some of their numbers. Hawkins, you know, he's 2 of 6. He was a pretty good shooter. Melendez 2 of 4, but Shannon's 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. Myers 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. Jaden Epps, you want to talk about the small numbers making a difference. We talked about Arkansas small numbers. Epps is a backup guard for them, but he averages 10 a game.
Yeah.
He averages 10 points per ball game. He had 2 last night. And so the guys that normally are the scorers for them, Shannon had 20 at the end, but it was a quiet 20. And a lot of the points he got late, they were just catch-up points.
Yeah.
So Arkansas did their job all across the floor, I thought.
And then Arkansas, those long rebounds, that's where Devo and Anthony Black and some of the guards just cleaned up and then got the ball out into transition a few times off those long rebounds. And I thought that's something that, you know, it didn't always show up in the stats, but that was one of the things that gave Arkansas some of those points in fast break points.
Well, you look between Devo and Black, you have 12 boards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got 12 boards there between your 2 guards. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to have long rebounds.
Yeah.
So that's just part of it. And your guards better be able to go get them.
And 50-50 balls don't show up on the stat sheet, but, I mean, how many times have Devontae Davis in his career gotten those loose balls? And Hogstats had this. In 6 of his 9 NCAA tournament games, he scored double-digit points. They call him March Devo. I know that was something they coined yesterday. But, I mean, he for whatever reason, this is the time. Even as a true freshman in his first game, he was the one that got him going against Colgate.
Oh, Devo's a baller. I mean, he's a guy that, the big moments, that's where great players play. You can be okay for 35 minutes, but if you're great for 5 and you win the game, that's how legends are made.
So Arkansas had 4 assists in the game last night, wins the game. Clay was texting me after the game. We were talking. We may chat with Clay a little bit later, but
I think I heard him.
He was wondering, we were wondering out loud on a text, has Arkansas ever won a tournament game with only 4 assists? Hogstats may know that. I don't know, but that's one of those things that maybe gets zeroed in on a little bit, but it's kind of unusual to have only 4 assists in a tournament win.
I feel pretty certain that is the fewest assists Arkansas has ever had in an NCAA tournament win. I'd be willing to bet the house on that because it's become much more of an isolation game as opposed to what it was for so many years. 24 baskets and 4 assists. That tells you that there's a lot of isolation. A lot of guys beating the guy in front of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They could get to the rim a lot of times. While Illinois had some size, they're a little slower. That's one of the things Underwood said in his press conference. He got asked directly, "Hey, who does this team remind you of?" He said Texas. He was very open about that, which Arkansas fans don't necessarily like. But when you look at the athleticism that Arkansas puts out on the court, it's hard to.
I like it because Texas beat Kansas by 20. I like it. I think that sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and just like Clay, like we'd expect, he did go look it up. 7 was the previous low in the tournament game.
Yeah,
So,
I felt pretty certain that, certainly in a win.
yeah.
You might have had a loss out there where you've only had 4 assists, but certainly in a win. Hey, if you're a buyer or seller, if you're in the real estate market, whether by choice or by necessity, let me recommend my friends at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Maybe you've been transferred. Maybe you got to downsize a little bit. Maybe you got to upsize a little bit. Whatever your situation, you're going to deal with a trained real estate professional when you partner with a Weichert agent. And, this really is the best training in the business. And the Griffin Company locally can certainly lay claim to that. And that's one of the reasons why they have been Weichert's top franchise across the country, right here in our own backyard. And the thing that you're going to notice is that when you partner with them, they're going to get you from contract to close. There are going to be things come up. There always are. You sellers out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Things come up, and you got to get to that close. The contract doesn't mean as much as the close, and so that's what they're really good at. You're going to find their office in Fayetteville. They're in Springdale, Bentonville, Fort Smith, Branson, Missouri. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town, and you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
So we had some great games yesterday, including the ending of Princeton and Arizona.
Throws it down the floor. It's over. 15 beats 2. Princeton upsets Arizona 59-55 in a shocker in Sacramento.
Tommy, you were talking about brackets being broken. That definitely broke some people's brackets, as did the Furman beating Virginia win yesterday.
And I was listening to one of the national shows earlier this week. The success rate of 2 seeds in this tournament, and I believe it's getting to the second week, is only like 67%, 2/3 of the time. So if you should pick a 2 seed to lose in your first 2 games, but not put all your 2 seeds in the Sweet 16, because statistically that didn't happen. So we already saw 1 eliminated, and we'll see what happens with the other 2. Texas got their win, so we'll see what happens the rest of the way.
It's hard to win. It's hard to win. I don't care if you're the 2 seed, the 1 seed, whatever. We're watching Houston yesterday. It was a ball game for a long time, and everybody's got a good player too. And isn't it amazing that they play this tournament year after year, and it's always a Princeton. How many times has Princeton upset somebody's bracket in this tournament? Happens a lot. I've been watching this tournament a long time, and I know you guys have too. And I remember Pete Carell and all the things that they would do back in the day. And here they are again.
Was it 94, 95? Arkansas played them and had a hard time in their tournament run. One of the 2 years.
I remember that.
Yeah, they slowed down. It was just frustrating for us. For 40 minutes of hell. It was the opposite of 40 minutes of hell.
It's 40 minutes of hell for Arkansas, but they still found a way.
Yeah.
They beat a UCLA team back in the day with that consistent backdoor cut. I know that coach you just referenced, that was his philosophy. It always seems to be an Ivy League school, Chuck, not just Princeton.
Well, that's the way you have to play.
Yeah.
That's the way you have to play when you're out-athleted. You got to play like that.
Speaking of tournament games, and just by math you can get this, Muss is now 7-2 at Arkansas.
Yeah.
In NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
7-2, has a chance to improve upon that tomorrow night against Kansas. And Tommy, I agree with what you said earlier. Not that you got to take away from that Gonzaga win in San Francisco last year, but they pull this off against a blue blood like Kansas. This is going to go down as Muss, not just best postseason win, but best win in Fayetteville.
Well, it'd be a signature win. Honestly, I don't know how you could disagree with that. I think it's just an obvious statement. It's not a brainiac moment for me. It's Kansas. It's like you say, Chuck. They invented the game, and they'll remind you of it. It's Kansas. So if you beat a 1 seed in Kansas, that's the biggest win in how long for this program?
Well, let me say this though: Kansas is a great team, but they got to play the Razorbacks too. And I promise you, Arkansas poses the same kind of challenges for Kansas that Texas did, and some of the other really athletic teams that they've played. And Arkansas will give them fits. I don't know that they'll win, but they'll give them fits. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be close.
Well, that's what you live for. All right, if your bracket's busted, we're going to have a new Sweet 16 bracket coming up after the games are completed on Sunday. Go to hitthatline.com. You can check out the standings and all the groups that we have. Our bracket challenge is presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, 810 Billiards and Bowling in Fort Smith, Wheels RV in Springdale, and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith. Guys, there's a lot of guys and gals looking at their bracket saying, how didn't I see that coming? Hindsight is 20/20 when you're looking at your bracket right now.
Yeah, it's mine shot. I'm probably going to finish dead last in the Morning Rush standings, the ESPN Arkansas standings, every bracket contest that I've entered. It is awful right now.
Yeah,
but hopefully that Sweet 16 kind of gets it rolling again.
All right, live in Des Moines as we continue our coverage from the NCAA tournament, brought to you by Mossback Fish Habitat. Get your fish habitat products online at mossbackfishhabitat.com. By our friends at Big Creek Trading Company. See Allen for everything you need for a trip to the water or the woods at the junction of Highway 62, 65, and 412 just south of Harrison. And by Jersey Mike's, now serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Be a sub above with Jersey Mike's.
ESPN Arkansas is on the road with the Hogs in Des Moines, Iowa at the NCAA tournament. Our live coverage is presented by Mossback Fish Habitat, made in Arkansas to enhance your fishing success rate. Get your fish habitat products today at mossbackfishhabitat.com. Big Creek Trading Company, everything you need to get ready for the upcoming turkey season or fishing trip at the corner of Highway 62, 65, and 412 just south of Harrison. And by Jersey Mike's, now serving NW.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I think you've got it. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
RathAuto.com to register for our monthly contest. You can win a set of tires plus a Meineke Mile prepaid maintenance plan, $1,000 value. It's free and it's fun, but absolutely ends March 31st. Start driving better today with Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, or online at RathAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
There's only 32 of us left. Let's go. There's only 32 of us left right now. All right, hey, right now preparation starts for Kansas. Yep. Not tonight, not right now. Put their depth chart up. We got you.
You can just feel that excitement. Hopefully that's the same way on Saturday evening after Arkansas plays Kansas. Good to hear a little audio there from the locker room. Tell you another guy that's excited about a big weekend. That's Larry Rath at Rath Auto Resources. He's in Fort Smith and in Springdale. Larry, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. I am excited about this weekend. I'm excited about that game. The game yesterday was just fantastic. Those guys are so much fun to watch, and I think they've got a real chance against Kansas tomorrow night. And what a big win that would be. I mean, that'd be fantastic. And I'm also excited about St. Patty's Day. You know, you guys may not know it, but there's a time-honored tradition of getting you a brand-new car on St. Patty's Day. Y'all heard of that, right?
I think you're creating that one here.
That?
Yeah.
No, it's a thing.
Yeah. You got any green? Are all the green cars on sale today?
Well, I don't have any green cars, but that's not a thing anymore. But, yeah, they're all on sale. And what a great time to come on in and save some money, folks. We've got that inventory, cars, trucks, SUVs, whatever it is you're looking for. We've got them, and we've got a few of them. Give you a great selection. You can find the one that's just right for you and your family. Let us worry about getting the price and payment where it fits your budget. When all that comes together, you can start driving better, and driving better includes your service, right? The Meineke Car Care Center, we're there for you to take care of all your maintenance and repair needs, including half-off brakes. Buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Got those specials going on right now. So really a lot of good things going on in Fort Smith and in Springdale. Folks, we hope you'll come and see us, check it out, and honor that time-honored tradition of getting a new car on St. Patty's Day, or at least St. Patty's Day weekend. Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith, Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Check us out online, rathauto.com.
All right, go by and say Larry O'Rath this weekend at Rath Auto Resources and get your save some green. You won't find one in green, but you'll save some green this weekend. Larry, enjoy your St. Patty's Day, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Remember, it's lucky when you buy from Rath. It helps dogs, too. Yeah, it helps dogs.
I like that. So, all right, Rath Auto Resources, Fort Smith, and in Springdale. Chuck and Ty are in Des Moines. We've been missing our buddy Clay Henry this week. He's been a little bit under the weather, but he's been listening in this morning. And, Ty, he's going to join us now for a few minutes. Buddy, how you feeling?
Hey, I feel a lot better. I'll be honest with you. There were a couple of days that if I had wanted to do the radio, I couldn't because I couldn't talk.
Well,
I didn't have. I think my wife.
You couldn't talk?
My wife enjoyed it thoroughly in that, I had to listen.
that wasn't easy for you.
She knew I was really in bad shape, and hey, this COVID stuff, it affects people different ways. I've never had it, and I mean, when it hit me, it was 3 days of torture. Drainage on those vocal cords, and I could type a little bit, but I didn't feel like typing.
Well, the worst thing about it is I got a lot of pictures while you were under the weather, and right down there at your favorite fishing hole near your house, I saw some of the biggest browns and the longest, fattest rainbows that had been caught in the last 3 days. It's been amazing how well the fish have been biting the last 3 days.
So they all said, "Where is Clay?" Because he usually just wears us out.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it was really a lot of fun. I watched a lot of baseball. And then, the last 2 days I've watched a lot of basketball, and isn't it great to be relevant again, and hear those national guys talk about Arkansas being at the Elite Eight the last 2 years. And that they beat Gonzaga when Gonzaga was number one, and how they've knocked off teams, and the Razorbacks, hey, they got a chance to do it again.
Clay, on that subject, I don't know if you know this off the top of your head. We'd have to go look at it. Have they ever gone back-to-back years beating the number one seed in the tournament?
Oh, no, I don't know that anybody has. I mean, they haven't. Probably hadn't played the number one seed in the tournament too many times. It's just, the way it works out. But yeah, this is it's pretty cool. I mean, it's rarefied air, and Kansas has got issues. They don't always shoot it. They've been up and down shooting the ball. If you look at their win-loss record, they've lost a bunch of games, and sometimes they don't play, like you think they ought to, like at least the way last year's team did. They're playing some young guys. Everybody else is too. Their coaches, everybody's kind of trying to figure out where he's at, and what he was going to be like, and how the team will respond. And I will tell you, the number one seed sometimes plays tight this time of year. As they roll through, they might gain strength, but this is the time. Everybody says that 8-9 seed's bad because you're going to get number one, right off the bat. Well, this is the time when number one seeds play a little tighter. Last year's
Team in Baylor Bears, who just won a national championship, they lost in the second round of the North Carolina Tar Heels. So there's history and precedence of this happening. Hopefully there'll be something similar tomorrow at 4:15.
That's it's you need a good start. Let's just be honest. This team, there've been times where they don't start well, and I got a 4-month-old puppy that's wondering where Jean Ann is. She's the one that usually handles this dog.
Well, Clay, go get you a hottie toddy, and maybe we'll catch up in a few days.
Okay.
And we're just glad to know you're feeling better.
Everybody's going to enjoy this weekend. Thanks, guys. You're doing a great job.
All the stories of Clay's demise have been greatly exaggerated. So, the Clay Henry with us.
Thanks, buddy. So appreciate it. Good stuff as always. We're live in Des Moines, Iowa this morning at the Breakfast Club. Chuck Barrett, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson. And still a lot to get to here. SEC update coming up. And, Tommy, got some great action today. Later on, only one SEC team in action, but I know you're going to be glued to the TV all day like I am.
And if Kentucky lost, let's be honest, would it really hurt any of our feelings?
No.
I mean, let's be honest. We can say it just means more in SEC, but let's just be honest. If Kentucky lost today, it may ruin your bracket. My bracket's already ruined. I mean, let's go Friars, right?
Yeah, I had Cooley and company beating these guys. So if Cal wants to drop another tournament game and go, I think now 5 years without an NCAA tournament win, he's more than willing and more than capable to do that based on what we've seen recently.
All right, so that's the lone SEC game today. I tell you one thing, you're eating some good food this morning, but you stop by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers before the baseball game today, before basketball tomorrow, you're going to have a good meal there as well.
Listen, it may be a little cold out in Fayetteville here today, but it is nice and warm, and you're going to get a nice, hot, juicy burger at CJ's. Two great locations. If you're coming up from kind of the central Arkansas area, you can stop by in Russellville at the Arkansas Avenue, the original, and then also in Fayetteville off Weddington. Keith Wilson and his teams will always be ready to serve you with the best burgers, fries, and shakes in all of Arkansas. Don't forget the fry sauce. If you do, go up to the counter and get some because you will regret it if you don't. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. Live from Des Moines.
You're in the middle of Fast Break Friday on the Morning Rush presented by QC Kinetics. Get real lasting relief from chronic joint pain.
Semaglutide is a weight loss game changer. That's what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas, in-office or telemedicine visits available. So to schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical professionals for safe and effective weight loss while also reducing cardiovascular risk factors, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Burton Pools and Spas has built over 12,000 pools and installed more than 8,000 hot tubs, making the Burton family more than 20,000 members strong. Join the Burton family during our hot tub and swim spa closeout sale. All 2022 models must go. Save up to $37.50 off hot tubs and save up to $7,000 off swim spas with financing available. Stay healthy, have fun, and spend more time together with a hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. At Burton, we do more than install hot tubs. We build long-term relationships.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
810 Billiards and Bowling, an amazing combination of games, arcade, restaurant, sports bar, and night spot, all under one roof. Watch the games at the biggest sports bar in Fort Smith, and don't forget to ask about the game day specials, including St. Patrick's Day specials all month long. Come make great memories at 5609 Rogers Avenue across from Randall Ford. 810 Billiards and Bowling. We have something for everyone.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Links at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch the games and enjoy food and drink specials. And don't forget to ask about creating your own bracket for March Madness. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. Westark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact Westark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call Westark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
All right, Arkansas was not the only Southeastern Conference team in action yesterday. Missouri beat Utah State. Utah State actually favored at one point before the game began, but Missouri got it done. Good guard play gets them an 11-point victory. Kobe Brown scored, I think, the last 9 or 12 points for the Tigers. Bama whooped up on Texas A&M Commerce, beat them by 21. Auburn got it done against Iowa, 83-75. And you also had Penn State that beat Texas A&M by 17. Probably the most surprising outcome of yesterday, I'd say, guys.
I'd say so. I mean, at least of the SEC schools, I expected more, and it wasn't just the way Penn State won. They won fairly convincingly in that game. So that was
ran them out.
Yeah, that was the surprise. Not necessarily that Penn State would win the game, but A&M just laid an egg.
They did. They didn't play well. I still can't figure that part out. Although I think Penn State was maybe seated, a little bit too low at 10. I mean, they went 3-0 against Illinois. I mean, Penn State's not chopped liver. And so, I'm not terribly surprised by that. I thought Missouri got a good win yesterday. A lot of people were picking Utah State to beat them. I thought Mizzou got a good win. Overall, I thought it was a good day for the league.
Tennessee also beat Louisiana by 3. I forgot about that game. So that game's a lot closer than a lot of people thought it was going to be. So the only SEC game in action, as we talked about, is Kentucky later on against Providence. Tommy, I'm kind of like you. If Ed Cooley and company were to pull it off, I wouldn't hesitate or wouldn't frustrate me at all.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings.
What time do they play?
I can tell you
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
They play at 6:10 on CBS.
Oh, okay.
Chuck.
You got the whole day.
Yeah. So we got and again, games again start at 11:15. First game of the day is USC against Tom Izzo and Michigan State. So a good match. Michigan State's favored by about 2.5 on the Bet Saracen app.
All right, so that ought to be a good game today. And leading off there with USC and Michigan, 2 brand names. That's not by accident either. So
no, I mean they know what they're doing. They even though sometimes it may not seem like it, they put a lot of thought into these game times and things like that. I kept checking last night, for the time of the Arkansas game, what time Arkansas and Kansas were going to play, and finally I just gave up and went to sleep.
They didn't announce it until after 11 last night.
Well, they announced it after I was long gone. I found out this morning.
I kept getting texts like, "Hey, when's the game Saturday?" And it's like, guys, I don't know. They haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, Arkansas, as we know, plays Kansas at 4:15. Duke and Tennessee will be on CBS, of course, at 1:40. I mean, there's 2 big names.
CBS got the big games.
Oh yeah.
You're on
the
brand.
Yeah.
You're on the big brand tomorrow.
Texas and Penn State, it's not on True TV. It's on CBS as well. So
eyeball. You're on the eyeball.
Now, Alabama and Maryland will be on TBS tomorrow night. That's the late game in prime time. So,
wouldn't it be a shame if the Terrapins knocked them off?
So,
it'd be a true shame.
All right, so that's your SEC update this morning. It is brought to you by QC Kinetics here on a Fast Break Friday. Don't let the winter blues drive you away from all the things you know and love. If you want to get back to the things you love, like golf, fishing, going to the game, QC Kinetics can help rid you of that joint pain that's lasted for years and your shoulder, back, knees, or hips. Call QC Kinetics for an appointment, 479-999-1234. That's 999-1234 for QC Kinetics. We all love a trip to Oaklawn. We're going to get a quick check in at Oaklawn with Lang Whitman. He's our guy that watches everything at the track. It's a St. Patrick's Day. There will be probably a lot of good green beer flowing at Oaklawn. Our update's brought to you by Brothers Roofing. Lang, good morning.
Good morning, Tommy. We're ready for a big weekend of racing at Oaklawn.
2 big stakes races coming up this weekend, the Whitmore and the Essex. Tell us about those highlights of the weekend at Oaklawn.
Yeah, on Saturday, you have the 8th race, the Whitmore, a Grade 3 race for $200,000 at 6 furlongs for 4-year-olds and up. This race used to be called the Hot Springs Stakes, but it's been renamed for Whitmore, who won this race 4 consecutive years from 2017 to 2020 on his way to winning 7 stakes races in his career at Oaklawn Park. And it's going to be a really tough race. It's a good betting race with the top win possibilities looking to be Tejano Twist, Edge to Edge, Flash of Mischief, and Cogburn. So you got several choices there. Should be a good betting race. Then we move to the 9th race. That's the Essex Stakes for $500,000 for 4-year-olds and up, running a mile and a 16th. The clear favorite here looks to be Last Samurai, who's going to be 5-2 on the morning line. He ran on the board down at Gulfstream in the big Pegasus race earlier this year. Came back to Oaklawn to win a stakes race. He's a clear favorite in the Essex.
All right, you always give us a best bet. Last week it paid off big as well for your Friday bets. We need to start putting $10 or $20 on your Friday bet because you'd be money ahead this year. Tell us who you've got picked out today.
Yeah, we're going to try and make it 3 for 3 the last 3 weeks with the best bet. And today we're going to go to the 9th race, horse number 2, Skelly, at 4-1 on the morning line for trainer Steve Asmussen and jockey Ricardo Santana. Now, I think this morning line might hold up as there's 4 other horses in the race that I think could win the race, the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 7. But we're going with number 2, Skelly. This is a fast horse out of the gate, but he must, conserve a little bit of energy, not go too fast for the opening half. If you're watching the race, and you see the half mile time at slower than 45 seconds, Skelly should be in good shape. If you see it at 44 seconds or something like that, that might be bad for us down the stretch. But Skelly loves the distance. He's ran 6 furlongs 5 times with 2 wins in 2 places. He likes Oaklawn Park with 3 starts. He has 1 win and 1 place in those 3 starts. He's won a race on the slop. He's won a race on the fast track, so he's versatile. I'm going with number 2, Skelly, in the 9th race at Oaklawn as my best bet today.
All right, pay attention to that, guys, because the last 2 weeks, Lang's best bet that he's given us on Friday have each paid over $10 on a $2 bet. So you can cash in and get 5 times your money in about 2 minutes, so not a bad deal. Lang, they can find all your picks for the weekend. You even get some basketball predictions up as well at the Railbird 333. We appreciate you, and we'll have a little more time next Friday when we catch up.
All right, sounds good. Look forward to it, Tommy.
All right, Lang Whitman, our update brought to you by Brothers Roofing. Check out your roof. If you've checked out other homes in your neighborhood, your neighbors are getting a roof, homes around your subdivision are getting a roof, and you're not sure if you need a new roof, have our friend Brother Alexander, former Razorback, come out and inspect your roof. And he knows how to deal with the insurance companies as well because he spent 25 years in the roofing business and as an insurance adjuster. So he knows how to maximize those benefits. And they only use the best crews in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. So if you want a quality roof with great shingles, underlayment, ice and water barrier, and more, call Brother Alexander 479-353-3877 for Brothers Roofing.
All right, we're live in, again, Des Moines at the Breakfast Club. Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, and Chuck Barrett, as we got a few more minutes as we're wrapping up here on a Fast Break Friday. And it would not be a good Friday without our friend Sterling, who's in Center Ridge. Sterling, thoughts on the game last night and thoughts on the Jayhawks coming up tomorrow?
The great game by Walsh. I thought he was outstanding. And if we can keep the score around the same score that Liberty Bowl was, I think we have a good look at it. Guys, y'all was talking about the number 1 seeds, Arkansas versus number 1 seeds. Arkansas is 1-10 versus number 1 seed, and they adopted this seeding format in '79. Now, the year before in '78, UCLA was a number 1 automatic qualifier. At that time, they seeded the at-large teams in the automatic qualifiers separately. So I guess you could technically count that if you want to. But the way they seeded now, the only win was last year against Gonzaga. Now, we done played some classics against the number 1 seeds, as Chuck and Tommy know very well. The Louisville tip-in game with Klein and them in '83, when everybody wanted to see outside of Arkansas, wanted to see Louisville and Kentucky play. Back then, they didn't play every year like they do now. Over there in Knoxville. Of course, the '79 game with Bird, when they cheated us out of that one.
Boy, they did cheat us that day.
And, Carolina, Scotty then was freshman. Scotty in quarters against North Carolina over there at East Rutherford was a good game. We lost to LSU when they were the 1 seed. That's after Reed hit the shot. We played LSU to a 1 seed.
I remember that. The
next week, and they took care of us pretty good. I think we were still on the high. We talked about that Reed shot all week long. I think we forgot that we had to play LSU the next week. But that's just a little bit of history of us versus 1 seed. Of course, UCLA in the championship game was a 1. Massachusetts was a 1. And those 2 times we played Carolina and, of course, Baylor. But that's St. John. St. John's. We lost by 3 to St. John's in '85. That team went to the Final Four and ended up losing to Georgetown in the national semis. But that was a real good game too. We had a chance to beat a very good St. John's team with Chris Mullins and company. But
was that Eddie's last game?
Yes,
was that
sir.
Eddie's last game?
Yes, sir. It was.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the quick history of us versus 1 seed. So about half the time we get 1 seed all they want, and I expect that we'll do it again tomorrow.
Oh, I think it's going to be a great game. Thank you, Sterling.
Here's what you need to take out of that. Muss doesn't care about these streaks. You're 0-5 against Illinois before you beat them yesterday. You were 0-10, like Sterling said, before you played Gonzaga. You beat them last year. I mean, Muss has broken many streaks in Arkansas. You're 20-something against number 1 teams in your building in Fayetteville. You beat Auburn last year. He didn't care about those, y'all. I don't think they're going to have any thought about that heading into tomorrow. I guarantee you that Devo and Kamani will use some of that stuff they used against Gonzaga last year against the Jayhawks at 4:15.
Yeah, it should be great. We're on baseball leading up to the basketball broadcast, and then we'll get you ready for all of it. Chuck, I'm sure it's just exciting for you to be calling games of importance and consequence here this late in March.
I can't wait. I just tell myself, don't screw it up.
So, you don't, man. You gotta do a good job. I think all of our listeners. Will
it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Again tomorrow, Chuck and Z. Is it? Tommy, I haven't seen the emails. At 3:45?
We're going to go at 3:30.
3:30.
I can give you an executive decision right now.
We're
going at 3:30.
3:30 airtime for Chuck and Z and the Courtside Show tomorrow on Saturday. And then, of course, game tips off at 4:15 live from Wells Fargo Arena. As Tommy, we're in Des Moines this morning on a Fast Break Friday.
It's brought to you by Mossback Fish Habitat. Get your fish habitat products today at mossbackfishhabitat.com. By Big Creek Trading Company at the corner of Highway 6265 and 412 just south of Harrison. And by Jersey Mike's, now serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Be a sub above with Jersey Mike's.
All right, still a lot to get to later on today. Halftime coming up from 11 to 2, and then Tommy, we'll have Russ Gonzaga, and the baseball game gets going a little earlier at 4 o'clock than we originally anticipated because of weather.
Yeah, they worried about temperatures that would be in the later innings of the game, but been a lot of cool starts. I mean, that's the thing with this sport. When you play your games in February and March, you're going to deal with weather, and they're going to deal with some of this weekend, trying to avoid it. No rain in the forecast, just some temperatures in the 40s. And Chuck, they've played a lot of games in the 40s over the years.
Oh, yeah. Bring a coat. I mean, that's just how it works. They'll play. Daylight savings time now. They ought to be able to get it in today without any darkness. So it's not ideal, but, this is how it works.
We'll hear from Eric Musselman and Arkansas players as well as Kansas players. Maybe Bill Self. We'll have to wait and see later on. You can hear some of that later on Ruskin and Zach. For Chuck Barrett and Tommy Kraft, I'm Ty Richardson. We've been live at the Breakfast Club in Des Moines, Iowa, Arkansas, and Kansas tomorrow at 4:15. Tune in right here, ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas